We are back. My next guest tonight, please welcome a very funny guy, Artie Lange.
Our next guest is one of the funniest guys there is. He eats devil dogs for breakfast and cigarettes for lunch. Hey, ladies, here he is, Artie Lange.
We're joined right now by a hilarious comedian. His latest project, the Artie Quitter podcast, is available through artiequitter.com. Please give a warm welcome to a good friend of the show. Here's Artie Lange, ladies and gentlemen.
Our next guest is a regular on the Howard Stern radio program and the author of this New York Times bestseller entitled Too Fat to Fish. Here he is, the very funny Artie Lange. Oh, Artie.
It always makes me laugh when I see Artie Lange on stage, knowing I'm going to outlive him.
A Jack Daniels swilling, pizza-eating, dog-hating, whore-using, cocaine-abusing, hairy-back, big-belly blowhard from New Jersey. The fat little bastard known as Artie Lange!
Oh, here we are. Look. You know, you guys can't hear the open. It's we have a whole open. Is it hard to play them, that open, Dan? The Michael Buffer? Is that impossible? You don't have to.
No, it'll take me a minute. But...
Yeah, well, I'll talk while you find. I want you to hear when I did the Stern show, when I played hoops against the. You remember that? I played hoops against the chick from Penn State on the air. Did you listen ever to the show? No. You didn't? Okay. Yeah, there's a microphone there now. Oh. This is a very special show. The hardcore fans of, well, even Stern, not just me, they're getting a treat tonight because anybody who knows me from the Stern Show knows that I tell stories about a kid that I didn't want to say his name in the beginning because he was trying to get a job at the Macaroni Grill. I didn't want to shit on it.
Actually got it.
And I called him the bad cop. That's all I called him. And, you know, he's my friend Dan, who I grew up with, Irish kid. Grew up literally up the street from.
Class act.
I mean, what would you say, about like half a mile we grew up? Your house, right?
It's definitely stumbling distance.
Yeah, just trying to get right on the microphone. You got to talk into the mic.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah, well, you're talking to me.
Well, I'm looking at you. I can make
well, you don't
contact.
have to look. I mean, you know what you could do? Move the chair around because you got to talk into the mic. Otherwise, we'll just talk. We'll just have a conversation. I've had enough of those. But he became Dan is one of my favorite people ever. You know, and I, had to really work hard to be his friend in high school because not everybody got Dan's sense of humor.
What was the famous quote? You can't swing a dead cat without hitting someone who hates Dan McGrath.
Well, I mean, listen. I mean, that's an old quote, but it was very appropriate for your situation. I'll never forget. Again, not everybody got Dan's unique sense of humor. He moved to Union from a town called Irvington, which is basically filled with another type of Irish people. And
the classier kind.
Yeah, right, exactly. And Dan's a Sephardic Irish guy. But I immediately took a liking to the guy because Dan's the kind of guy where you could know him for 10 seconds and you feel comfortable talking about his mother. It's like, doing mother jokes, playing the dozens, calling him an asshole, because he's a ball breaker and you feel like part of the family or something. And I guess you would piss somebody off in gym class. This is 7th grade, and you were new, and I sort of had a liking to you, but we didn't really get to know each other yet. And a kid named Doug DeLuca and 2 other kids had given you a wedgie.
Yes.
And your underwear wouldn't break.
No.
He gave him a wedgie. I mean, I don't know where your mother got this underwear. I mean, Jesus. I guess the Irish, don't wash it that much, and then it gets a little stale. But the underwear would not fucking break. And
they tried.
It was DeLuca, maybe Donaway. I'm trying to think who else was doing it. Big guys.
Greg Curry, wasn't it?
Greg Curry. I remember, was it you who used to say Mrs. Curry's too furry, something like that? Yeah, the mother jokes, like the political incorrectness. We're talking 1979, and it was just like really stupid people in certain classes, like kids who thought the blue part of the globe was the sky. Those type of kids, and Dan was just a troublemaker from day fucking one. Every black kid knew his mother's name. I'm like, how did this happen? The black kids would do research when you played the dozens. They would find your mother's name, and they would yell out, Rosemary sucks cock, or whatever.
Yeah, they couldn't do 2 + 2.
Yeah, well, look at that's a former cop. I wonder why he in a ghetto. Anyway, listen, we're in the real world. It's not politically correct anymore. True story. This really happened to me. You know how when you have your headsets on and you don't realize, you say something to yourself and you realize you're talking out loud, like loud enough to have a conversation because you're listening to music? Today I'm walking down right outside of my house and I got the Who blaring Eminence Front. And you can't hear a lot.
It is a put on.
Yeah, exactly. You can't hear a lot. So I see these two black women really loud, acting very obnoxious. Very obnoxious.
That's shocking.
And what to do? Jesus Christ. This is the bad cop. I'm trying to get him a book deal, but you're not going to get a book deal being racist.
I'm not racist.
Yeah, no, of course.
I'm observant.
Yeah. So anyway, and I'm ashamed of this story, but it's true. So they have a couple of children who are being loud, and both kids are 2 years old, and they're both smoking Newports. And no, the mothers were smoking Newports. I'm kidding, but I can't believe I said this. I said it loud enough to where I was having a conversation with somebody, and I thought I was saying it to myself because they gave me a look. I said, "Christ, I hope those are cleaning women." Oh. And again, if they in fact did have an apartment, I'd be fine. I'd be fine if they had an apartment in the building. I would just want to know if they were properly vetted.
And I'm offensive.
That didn't really happen. Moving on. Not yet. Well, my point is, be careful if you got the headsets on because you're not always talking to yourself. So Dan's underwear would not fucking break, and he was turning red. And God bless Dan, he wouldn't stop talking about their mothers.
Hey, too
Your
bad.
mother sucks fucking dick. Your mother, in between screams with the underwear, and they're like, stop! We'll stop if you stop talking about my mom. Your mom's a fucking whore. Not even jokes, just saying facts about their mother you couldn't possibly know for sure. But
that was
the black kids playing the dozens would at least get creative, and who was it? Andre Bauer? We get sent one of the funniest human beings I've ever met. Andre Bauer, black kid, right, Dan? You remember Andre?
Oh yeah,
he was so fucking funny, and he would make up crazy shit about your mother. And one time, me and him got sent to the principal's office, and in Mrs. Liebhauser's class, and. The first thing the principal, I'm sitting next to Andre. I'm sitting next to Andre trying not to laugh. And the first thing the principal says to Andre, Andre, I want to ask you something. How do you know Mrs. Liebhauser's mother wears a helmet to bed?
I remember that. Oh my God.
It says here, I guess, talk about winning the lottery of jokes. He would just make shit up. Like Andre would say shit like, "Tell your mother she left her work boots under my bed," stuff like that. Yep. And he apparently said about Miss Liebhauser, "Your mother left a helmet by my bed." Just making it up. And supposedly, talk about a home run. Miss Liebhauser's mother had one of those abnormally large craniums from an operation and wore a helmet. Actually wore a helmet. Dude, she burst into tears. And he goes, "I never met her mother." He goes, "You realize she really wears a helmet to bed?" And he was like, "No." And, I said, oh, my God, I almost high-fived him. That's the greatest thing ever. Imagine taking a shot at that. She must have freaked the fuck out. Your mother left her helmet and her mother really wears a helmet. The teacher's livid. He got suspended for 2 fucking weeks. Oh, that's so great.
Oh, what about Shackelford?
Andre, of course, is in jail for arson. What?
What about Mike Shackelford? Remember?
Mike Shackelford had a piece of fat on the back of his neck like a cat. Like his mother could carry him around by the teeth. Do you remember the black kids used to make fun of it? He had a piece of fat. He had rolled up fat on the back of his fucking neck.
Yes.
That was it was extraordinary.
Oh my gosh.
It was extraordinary. Oh. And again.
This motherfucker.
Yeah, this motherfucker. That's all he would say. That's all he would say. Like McGrath would say something about him. I go, this motherfucker. This motherfucker.
Oh, man.
And Freddie Brinson. Freddie Brinson had one shirt. 3 years, he had one shirt. He had that red shirt. Remember the red shirt that Richard Pryor wore in his first concert?
Yes.
He had a shirt that looked like that. And that's the only shirt I ever saw him wear in 3 years.
Oh, my gosh.
And he was a DJ. He was a DJ, and he would play parties, like house parties. And his line was, "I'll mix the roof off your house." I'll mix the roof off your house.
Oh, too much.
Barry Mormon called himself Kid Funkadelic. And he made up a T-shirt with a black magic marker that said Kid Funkadelic. I don't understand a word he said in 3 years. He sat right behind me. He would start to tell Polish jokes. And he was a tough kid. And he would get mad and offended if you didn't laugh at the joke. So because you didn't understand him, you'd have to wait for him to laugh at the punchline, which he always did. So you would laugh too. Because otherwise you get mad. I don't understand a word he would say. In the middle of a test, we'd be taking a final exam. And he'd go, "Oh, man, yo." And I look back and go, "Yo, man, there are two Polish motherfuckers. They're fucking going in a fucking bathroom. Motherfuckers go down the shoe and shit. They want to eat the fucking time with a glass of wine. They go back and shit. They come back and say, "There's two Polish guys." They go to the and back out and they say, "Shit, you man, I'll say to my mother, she'll come back." And then his voice would get high and high, and when the punchline was coming, so you started to know. And then they come back over there, and and you would just laugh and go, "Ha, ha, ha, I get it." The two Polish motherfuckers. The two Polish motherfuckers. And of course, I'd failed the quiz.
That's another shock.
Yeah, but Andre, again, Dan was absolutely one of the most fun people to hang around with. People hated Dan, and I said, "No, he's so this is great." He's like, you could make fun of his, and I guess there's one other human being I've met who had that affection with people, Donald Trump. Donald Trump and I roasted Donald Trump a couple of times. I met him, and I played 9 holes of golf with Eli Manning and Trump. And at Trump's place in Bedminster about 2 years ago. Okay, Trump is the funniest guy to hang out with because he's like a little kid. He's exactly like he is on the campaign. He gets offended and immediately insults you. Like Dan. Like Dan. Like Dan would have said to Megyn Kelly, "You're on your period, bitch." He would have said the same thing.
No, I would have said in your mouth.
Well, yeah, in your mouth, whatever. Something pleasant. But exactly how immature Donald Trump is exactly how Dan is. They're the exact same person. Dan you should be his vice president. When you say something about Dan, he immediately says something insulting back, and like a little kid. He would say like what else does Trump get mad at? The wife thing. Ted Cruz said something about his wife. He goes, your wife is way fucking uglier than my wife. And he would tweet something to the same person. And so he's getting wedgied, and I go, do I try to help this kid? But I admired his go-gettership. Like I admire what a Type A personality. I've never met someone who's done less with a big personality.
It takes practice.
And God bless him. He was always a guy. If Danny had $50, there was an investigation. But no, if Danny had $50, it meant one of the kids in class didn't have $50.
Somebody's pockets were a little lighter.
No, it was, Dan would say, "Let's spend it."
Oh, absolutely.
Let's spend it. Absolutely. And because he bought me a flaming shot of Zambuca in 1988, I now owe him my life. That was worth a Corvette, I guess. But so Dan pictures 7th grade. I'm putting my my pleather jacket on, and
I have my members only.
my beautiful Italian mother has veal cutlets with salad on the plate, waiting with Calandra's bread, and I'm late, and I go, "Should I help this kid out?" And I go, "No, I'm not helping him." Because he wasn't a good enough friend yet. But the underwear would not break. So DeLuca and somebody else they took his underwear and they opened a top locker.
Yeah, they hung
like
it.
one of the cubbyhole lockers, and they hung Dan from the locker. Dan was hanging like an ornament on a Christmas tree.
Yes, I was.
Like an ornament on a white trash tree. Like just hanging. Literally hanging from his BVDs. Like swinging back and forth. And you hear the underwear. It's starting to rip.
Slowly.
And I go, I got to leave. I don't want to see this. And I left. And I guess who else I met in the McGrath family that day?
Didn't you run into my mother outside?
I ran into your mother. And they were watching you. They wouldn't leave until they knew your underwear broke. DeLuca and those guys, they were having too much fun. It was sort of a physical oddity. You wanted to call Time Magazine or something. This is before Dan started getting, drunk. And well, maybe it wasn't. 7th grade Irishman. Probably into his
Mother's milk.
5th year of fucking AA. So I leave. I finally go. And to this day, I feel guilty about it. I leave, and in a 1976 Pontiac, powder blue. I know it because about 3 years later, I got pulled over.
Yes, you did, scumbag. And she wouldn't let me drive. She let you drive and get pulled over.
Michelle Perna, my girlfriend Super Cardi, and Lisa Killian.
Rambo 2.
Yeah, that's right. Went to go see Rambo 2.
In Westfield.
I didn't have a license on me.
The cop pulls him over. And instead of giving him the PBA card, Artie gives him a David Letterman fan club
I
card.
sent away for the David Letterman fan club.
The cop goes, "What the fuck is this?"
And I got the fly swatter and the collapsible cup. I was a big Letterman fan. I figured it'd be funny to have in my wallet for the hot chick who knows Letterman back then.
There's a lot of them
They
running
didn't
around.
exist, yeah. And I gave him a late night with David Letterman fan club card. The cop was not amused.
No, he wasn't amused.
Yeah. So I go outside and Mrs. McGrath, God bless her, still around, good woman, good Catholic woman, says to me, "Excuse me, buddy." I go, "Yeah." She called me buddy. I go, "Yeah, hi." She goes, "Yeah, my name is Mrs. McGrath. My son Daniel McGrath. I've been waiting for a long time. Is he in there?" I said,
He's
"Yeah."
hanging around.
I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Did you see him? Is he on his way out?" I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Do you know how long he's going to be?" And I thought of the underwear where it was at. I said, "Give him like 3 minutes." I'd say you got about 3 minutes. And real quick, this is going to not make any sense, Mr. McGrath. Where do you buy underwear? I didn't see that. But then I had an affection for Dan. And eventually we became friends down the road, and he became one of my best friends. Dan is countless stories that I've told on Stern and in my books. And Dan is known as the bad cop, and people love him. People absolutely love him. Dan is the one.
Because I haven't pulled him over.
Well, we graduated. We had to go to summer school to get our high school diplomas. And Dan and I had the brilliant, the summer school principal, Mr. Zwillman, I believe. First of all, another great Dan Mcgrath line. Manuel Santiago, kid who I think who became a scientist.
I called him Man You Smell.
No, I was going to tell the story. You just ruined it. You just ruined the punchline. See, this is why I went to
There's more than one.
No, I know. But I mean, I was going to tell that. Now, there's no point to anything I'm about to say. I mean, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I thought it was one of the best nicknames ever. He had awful BO, this kid.
Oh, he's horrible.
Awful. I mean, hair on his arms. Dan Pilato's the only guy with hairier arms. I think he was Portuguese, but he was really a smart kid in science. And he had like thick sunglasses. And actually, Andre Bauer's the first person I ever heard say, "You look like those sunglasses. You look like you're looking through an aquarium." First time I heard that joke. And Dan used to call him Man You Smell. Man You Smell. I mean, think about like how politically correct the kids are in their safe place.
Yeah.
Imagine Man You Smell going, "I'm in my safe place," and Dan said, "I smell." Imagine Dan telling him he's in a safe place. His underwear, he's hanging from a locker. He's hanging from a fucking locker. These kids don't want to hear the word "God damn it" while they're just studying. They complain at Yale. I'm in my safe place, and someone said something offensive. Dan, in the 7th grade, was hanging from a locker.
Yeah. Did I complain? Nope.
No, and you became the worst cop in the history of New Jersey.
Well, the one, yeah.
And in my opinion, the best cop, first of all. It depends on what you want to cop for.
Oh, God.
Anyway, so for the first time, and I'll get to my other friend who's here, obviously, is much more respectable. But I know him through Danny. But in any event, the point is, all these stories I tell with great affection. He's like a brother to me. And, he's the only charity I consistently give to. You know, again, it is true. That meant a lot to me. In the old days, Danny, I was always broke. I was always the broke one. And Dan would get a house down the shore. And Danny, to his credit, knew I was always broke and couldn't afford it, but he would always call me at the beginning of the summer when he was a cop. And Dan had money. He was making a cop salary with the shakedowns in the ghetto. Dan always had, for some reason, a Bentley convertible.
It was borrowed.
Exactly. And first of all, Dan worked in Plainfield, New Jersey. Okay, as a cop in the late 80s, early 90s. And when I tell you this band of criminals, the fucking, you talk about a movie. A movie they should have made out of these people. Dan had a buddy who would on his shift would set up a hammock on a roof.
Oh, yeah.
And get a boombox and play music and drink and get a broad. Yeah. And one time, a guy who was breaking into houses, he was a chick, I believe the story was riding him in the hammock, naked. He's got his uniform on, except for his pants are down, and the criminal runs right by him.
And his gun belt was hanging on the air conditioner next door.
Yeah, and on the radio, they hear the people calling for the guy, going, "There's a guy coming towards you. A criminal is coming towards you." I don't know the exact wording. But basically, they were trying to tell the cop that a criminal, the whole reason you have a job, one of the people you have to stop, one of the people you took a fucking oath to protect the people of the city from, is going to run directly by you. I hope you're not in a hammock having sex.
I'm busy.
With a blood alcohol level of 3.9. Listening to Darkness on the Edge of Town on cassette. No, the stories are just endless. But Dan becoming a cop, he had a salary, and I was a struggling whatever. I was struggling until at the age of 27, I finally broke the dam of making money, and then it was all downhill from there. But
the hard times really started.
Put it this way: I had a cocaine problem with $20 in my pocket. Okay. Picture within a week that the $20 turns into about $4,000. No. What do you think happened? You can finish the story. I got him here. So, Dan would say that we would go to Suspenders or one of our watering holes, and Dan would have a $50 bill on him and go, "Let's just spend it," and I was always willing to do it. And so you remember people like that when you're in L.A. driving to a meeting at Lorne Michaels' office. And, there's traffic and you're late for maybe the biggest meeting of your career, and Dan calls 3,000 miles away saying, "Asshole, get to a Western Union. I need $1,000."
That is a true story.
I go, "Well, Dan, do you mind if I have a meeting first with the creator of Saturday Night Live?"
Art, but Art, this is really important.
Dan, he goes, "Art, you got to do it right now." So I find a Ralph's supermarket. I find a Western Union. By the way, it's
East LA or something.
Yeah, when you send $1,000, it's not just $1,000. It's a $62. And I tell Dan, I go, "Dan, good news. There's another fee you're not going to pay me back for." I just want to let you know. You're taking, not borrowing, you're taking a total of $1,062. I'll put that in my book. I'll put that in the book you keep telling me to keep. Anyway, so I was almost late for a Lorne Michaels meeting.
That's a story.
Yeah, because I sent Dan $1,000. Yeah. And I don't know what that went to. I'm sure Dan said, well, I'm sure it was something productive. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Look, what the guy, what did I say? Look, I'm sorry, Mr. Michaels. My friend who's a Plainfield, New Jersey cop, I had to mail him money for cocaine. I'm ready. I'm ready for the meeting.
Where should I stand?
I'm ready for the meeting.
And the scene.
Anyway, but I love him. I do love him. And we've both seen some tragedy in our life, most of which we caused.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And Dan is also the guy, again, we told the story before, Dan is the guy who sat down. We used to have Saturday detention, like in the Breakfast Club, and I'd pick Dan up because I had a car, and a $400 Matador, and it would be like a January morning, and Dan would get out of the shower and his hair would freeze, and we looked like a snow miser, and we sat down a foot from each other's face, and we couldn't make a noise for like 4 hours. And this black kid, Scott Russell, was in the RTC, threw a pretzel with mustard on it, hit Dan's face right in front of me, and Dan had like an Indian, had a yellow line of mustard down the side of his face. And I'm telling you right now, I almost shit a kidney out trying not to laugh. I said, Dan, don't do anything. Don't do anything. And Dan goes, fucking Shine hit me with a pretzel. Future cop. Future cop. I go, well, just forget about it. So Dan slowly he did what I've seen before. He did something I had seen before. If I got asked to testify, I would have to say, I've seen that before, officer. He started slowly putting full pages of notebook paper in his mouth.
Like one of the chipmunks.
He ripped it out, and full pages of spiral notebook paper with like the fringe on the end.
Yeah.
Full pages in his mouth very slowly. And he began to make the world's biggest spitball. And it was deadly. It had all his fucking gutter snipe saliva from a toothbrush that apparently the whole family shared. And just a big spitball that I've seen him hit people in the neck with it before. It leaves welts. It looks like you've been inducted into some tribe in Morocco. And the kid Scott Russell gets up like a detective. Dan had planned it out. Scott gets up to go smoke, as he said, some Mother Earth. Yeah, go to smoke some Mother Earth. Never heard something so cool in my life. And he's 2 feet from Danny. He thinks there's nothing Dan's going to do now. Dan gets up and doesn't care who sees it, throws this spitball at Dan at an arm and a half, 102 miles an hour, directly at his neck. It hits his neck, and he was a dark-skinned black kid. The white.
So it blended in.
Yeah, the white saliva-filled particles from the fucking piece of paper slid down his neck. Slid down his neck like lice. And he just as soon as it hit his neck, he grabbed his neck and went, fucking McGrath! Dan gets thrown out. Then for 3 hours we lose our brakes. I go outside. He was freezing cold. And I yelled at him. And, he said, I give a shit. I fucking get my ass kicked by my dad. And I'm gonna ask my dad. I'm gonna get thrown out of school. It's gonna be the last straw. I'm gonna get expelled. My life is fucking ruined. I give a shit if you and 30 spooks lost your fucking break. Future cop. Future cop. And of course, by the way, for my show business friends, I said, Dan, I'm appalled at that racist comment. You mean disclaimer? You mean me and 30 African Americans have lost our break? How dare you? This is the last time we'll speak.
Let's go to Jan's.
Let's take me to Jan's to get the fucking
kitchen sink,
which was an enormous ice cream sundae. I mean, just the loser, the level of loser we were is like if there were a meter. Like blue was level, you're not a loser. Red was big loser. Around Dan and I at this time in our lives, it would, if there was a loser meter around us, it would constantly be pinned at red.
Magenta.
Pinned. After a day like that, after a day where we actually almost got kicked, one of us got kicked out of Saturday detention. The other one's bitching about losing our break. We're walking to a $200 fucking Matador to get the kitchen sink at Jan's. This is not a couple of guys where you go, okay, I see these guys running the country. These are not the people Google's recruiting. This wasn't Jobs and the fucking other guy, the fat guy.
Oh, man.
That's funny. Yeah, that's what we were doing while Steve Jobs was inventing the internet. So anyway, Dan's here. And we graduated together. At summer school, they said, your moms are complaining. If you guys want to have a graduation, sign up for it. If nobody signs up for it, we won't have it. Nobody signed up for it. Dan and I had I don't know which one of us had this fucking idea, but it's the best idea we ever. It's like McCartney and Lennon fighting over who wrote A Day in the Life.
It was me.
It might be. I'll give it to you. We said, what if we said to each other, what if Dan and I are the only two people who sign up for graduation? Would they be forced, because they're afraid to get sued, to have a full graduation for Dan and I? We said, let's see. So Dan and I signed up. And sure enough, I think they were afraid They had a full graduation
For 2 people.
for just Dan and I.
No.
Yeah. ROTC showed up.
Rich, you never heard the story?
No.
The school principal had to drive up
Down
from his
the shore.
vacation down the shore. Okay, the school council. I had lost my robe. I don't know where it was. I had a bar.
You lost it at the party the night before.
Tommy Luongo's party.
Yeah, exactly. You borrowed mine.
Tommy Luongo had a party. I had to borrow his to take the pictures. The suit Dan's wearing in these pictures, it had to be paper mache. It looked like every suit, just at every wedding at a Knights of Columbus or an Elk Club.
It was.
Where a guy had to wear a suit, like the ring bearer. That's what he
Like the guys from Deer Hunter.
The Deer Hunter wedding.
Right,
The Deer Hunter wedding.
That's
That's what the
perfect.
suits were wearing. The suits they were wearing at the Deer Hunter wedding were like Armani's compared. The people in the school council that didn't want to be there. There's a woman here who's very fat and pale.
Oh, she was miserable.
Oh, she was pale too.
Oh, yeah.
They were all forced with an ROTC. Nobody in the fucking
We had
stand.
4 guys with a flag, the guns marching down the aisle for us, the band playing.
For 2 guys who failed fucking gym.
Seriously, only 2 guys showed up?
My hand to God, 2.
Yeah.
Just me and Artie. That's
Well,
it.
and then the only people in the audience were my mother showed up and my sister.
My mother.
Dan's mother. Our fathers didn't even take off
No,
work.
my father's like, fuck you.
And 2 of our friends, Shecky and Chico, showed up. Shecky got kicked out because he farted into the microphone. And, yeah.
So
They
did
had a
wait,
full graduation.
Did they have like a whole speaker and
Yeah.
all that?
Oh, yeah. The whole
The principal
thing.
spoke.
Oh no.
And you had the 3 assholes in the back row, Shecky and Chico, and them doing a wave.
The principal spoke. While the principal was speaking, they did the wave in the back.
Oh my god.
Yeah. The class I failed.
Did you guys throw the hats up in the air?
We
There's only one hat.
like St. Elmo's fire. St. Elmo's fire.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so yeah, it was unbelievably hilarious. But this, the class I failed was me and Shecky and that kid Andre Bauer in the back, and the 2 things I did to this woman, Miss Fullcomer, real name. Miss
You
Fullcomer.
tortured that poor woman.
I'm telling you right now.
was her name again?
Miss Fullcomer. I swear to God, Miss Fully come on my face.
Nobody played with that game through high school.
If this woman was my daughter or my sister now or wife, and there was a kid in her class who was doing to her what I did to her, I would hit the kid. I would cave in the kid's head with a fungo bat. What I did to this poor woman. First thing she did was, if you guys have a nickname, she tried to be cool, like be one of us. If you guys have a nickname, tell me what the nickname is, and I'll gladly be a part of it. You could be a part of it. Like, I want to be a part of your life.
This really happened.
Okay. So I said to Andre Bauer and Shecky, I said,
Oh, no.
well, I'm going to write, I said, no one wrote down nicknames. I said, my nickname wasn't Skipper, but I'll say, I'm going to write down Skipper.
Yep.
And see if this woman calls me Skipper. And Shecky and Andre, Bauer's the black kid, said, motherfucker, if that bitch call you Skipper, I'm going to laugh for 4 fucking years. And coincidentally enough, that was the exact amount of time he'd be in Roe State. Roe State is not a college, by the way. You got a full ride to Roe State. It was in a bus with chains on it.
I believe they filmed Lock up there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what happened. So that's what I just said. Motherfucker, she call you Skipper, I'm gonna fall out in this bitch. Again, that's one of those black terms. You don't know what he means. Fall out. I guess meant laugh a lot. So I put down Skipper on the thing. First question she asked, I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what she's talking about. I'm not paying attention.
That's a shock.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know what the question is, but I'm just raising my hand every question she asks. She asked something, and okay, class, what do you think? I raise my hand. She goes, Skipper, and then okay, when she said Skipper, me, Andre, and Shecky, we almost had to be sent to the nurse's office.
Yeah.
We laughed insanely hard. This woman was such a sweetheart. For 3 weeks, I raised my hand for every question. And for 3 fucking weeks, she called me Skipper. And after every question, we laughed like we were going to shit out a kidney. Finally, at the end of 3 weeks, she went, you know what, Arthur? I don't think your nickname is Skipper.
She didn't have a freaking clue.
A clue.
She was shocked.
Not even close to a clue. She wasn't living in a Clues neighborhood.
No.
Okay, so here's what got me thrown out. And to get thrown out of this class, you had to murder somebody. The
Pretty
principal,
much,
though.
yeah.
I set up, she would do lessons from the podium. And that's where she'd speak from. And she read right from a book. And the woman had a twitch from abuse. She was abused by every student. I got on the Seaside Boardwalk. I won on the basketball stand a fucking 44 Magnum water pistol.
Oh yeah,
like a dark blue water pistol that really had a lot of strength to it, like the Clint Eastwood one from Dirty Harry. And I filled it to the brim with filthy fucking Union water. And I finally got use for my books. I set them up like a fort. And I put the fucking snot nozzle right out one of them, right at her face, as she started the lesson. She starts talking about, it was sociology or something. She starts talking about the fucking Lenni Lenape Indians or something. And she goes, and then they discovered socialism. And I would hit her every 3 seconds. And she would go, and then
she would. She would.
Everybody in the class knew what I was doing. Again, Andre, it was possible for a black kid to turn red. He turned red laughing. Unbelievable. Oh. Unbelievable. I hit her every 3 seconds. Direct hits in the eye. Like she was getting hit in the eye. I think they might have had a taper. Oh. She was going to Mick was going to have to cut her. You can't teach another lesson. I'm gonna stop the fight. I can do it.
Stop it.
Cut me. Cut me. I kept hitting her. Finally, she went, that's it. I can't do it. Artie, you've got to get out of this class. You've got to get out of the school. She goes, I'm not coming back to class if you're in the school tomorrow. I said, you're kicking me out? She goes, yeah. I go, why?
Why?
So I get kicked out.
Excuse me.
I'm sitting in the fucking outside the principal's office. The principal finds out what class I got kicked out of. Out loud, he goes, this is an administrator at a school. He goes, you got kicked out of fucking full comers class?
You know how hard that is?
What did you do, kill somebody? When he found out what I did, I said, he goes, I don't even know how to punish you. So anyway.
Sit in the corner, Skippy.
That Skipper. She called me Skipper. Yeah. So that's Dan.
That's Dan, yeah.
But anyway, he's never been in the studio. I've mentioned him. You never really were on air, so it's a treat for the fans. Dan, the bad cop, is in my house, which of course means I got to go to the ATM.
Not right now, though.
No, Dan. How are you, man? I'm glad you're here.
Hey, I'm glad to be here, Art.
It's the longest intro in the history of television radio.
Well deserved.
How you doing?
Lousy.
I mean, listen, you're always
a trick question.
You got listen. I always say you got a nice head of hair.
Yeah, that's about it.
You do. No, you're a good man. And what are those sneakers?
They're Levi's sneakers.
Where'd you find them?
$18, baby.
Oh, really?
Marshalls.
No kidding.
Oh, only the best for me. You know that line.
Anyway, I'm glad to see you as always. The other voice you hear is a guy named Rich Bodner. Now, Rich is...
You can call me Bodmer.
Bodmer. Is it with an M?
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
What year did you graduate?
July of '85.
It was August. It was August 7th.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
We got our August 7th when we got the diplomas. And I lost mine.
Yeah.
Do you still have your physical diploma?
Yeah, it's right next to my physical termination papers.
First, let me tell you something. You are making me feel so old right now. You have to wear the glasses Ben Franklin wore when he discovered electricity. What the fuck? And those glasses. He's wearing McGrath's wearing reading glasses. I'm like, holy shit.
I was just reading.
Yeah, you ever catch? I do the same thing because I need them too. Do you ever catch yourself in the mirror with what they look like?
Oh, I look like shit.
Oh, well, listen. Okay, so we were getting into our friend Rich, and again, Rich is a winner.
What I want to know is like at your graduation,
you have questions about this?
And since this is the first time I actually heard this story,
right?
At the graduation, did they actually say, "Would the entire class of 1985 please stand"?
August of '85,
and then
they said something to that effect.
They said, they did all. They had to go through the whole pomp and circumstance.
Yep.
I'm talking full ROTC,
bells and whistles,
presentation of the colors.
I get that, but then when it came time to okay, would you please come up and get your diploma? Did you guys literally swap outfits?
Yeah, we had to.
I had to. I didn't have mine.
Oh my God!
Put the tassel to the side. The whole
his
nine.
were taller. His was taller.
So now Now you've probably seen on YouTube the guy, the crazy drunk black guy that sang "Amazing Grace."
Yeah.
Was he there that night? Was that you?
You know what? Coincidentally enough, the same amount of black kids were at our graduation as the regular one.
And I get in trouble, and people get mad at me.
I'm telling jokes.
horrible.
You're just going, good.
Take care of the kid.
I bring McGrath to one of my performances in like '93, right next to CBGB's, an improv thing, and like they wouldn't have all comedy in between these like these lesbian, real serious theater chicks would get up. So they do a scene. These two lesbian broads do a scene where one of them tells the other one she has breast cancer, and she goes, "I'm so ashamed to even take my shirt off in front of you now. I have breast cancer." And like to comfort her through breast cancer, she goes, "You can take your shirt off right now. I won't mind." And then there's a pause, and you hear McGrath go, "Decent."
Fuck your name, man.
I mean, in a small theater, it echoed.
Yep.
Nobody else was there.
About
like, are they
time.
Are they Artie's guests? Are they Artie's guests? You mean the ones who brought in a fucking fifth of vodka?
And an 8-ball?
All the fucking cops in the back. All the cops in the back. You're a slurp, a sniff, and decent. Richard, you could take your shirt off right now. I don't care if you have cancer. Decent.
Take care of the kid.
Yeah. Well, it was with Dan that I discovered that the DVD trilogy with 3 DVDs, Godfather 3 set, was a perfect movie to watch at a party because you watch 1 and 2 and did cocoa for 3.
Another true story.
Anyway, so me and Danny then, so our life begins. We graduate in the fairy tale.
Or starts to end.
And very soon, tragedy sort of hits both of us. You could say that happened just from looking in the mirror, but my father, about a month later, my childhood is over. A week after my 18th birthday, reality and adulthood says, "Welcome to fucking adulthood, Artie." My father falls off a roof on October 18th, 1985, and becomes a quadriplegic. Falls off a roof, no homeowner's insurance, so there's no one to sue. He stole the ladder. I'm going to repeat that. He stole the ladder that he fell off of. This lawyer who was sitting in our house, he smelled money. He wanted to sue somebody because when you're a quadriplegic, you sue somebody. And they don't care who's at fault. There's, people, a jury will feel sorry for someone, and a major company who was involved will get sued. And because there was no homeowner insurance, the lawyer said, "We'll sue the ladder company." That's what he said in our house. So I looked at my mother, and she looked at me. My father wouldn't even put his head up because it was so fucking embarrassing. And my mother and me said, "One of us has to tell him this awful, embarrassing thing." And I said, "Ma, I'll take care of it." I said, the guy may or may not have been a certain religion. That's usually a lawyer. I said, "Mr. Schnozzle-Scheenberger." I said, "You can put away your calculator and your legal pad. You can put away your adding machine and that enormous smile." My father stole the ladder that he fell off of. The guy said, "Excuse me?" The guy said, "I said, yeah, did you wonder why Bell Atlantic was written on it?"
Yeah.
What do you think my mother's name was Bell and he dedicated to it? They got engaged by the Atlantic Ocean. What were you thinking? What do you mean? Yeah, no, my father, always needed a new ladder for his business. And he saw that a Bell Atlantic worker was working on the top of Sears on Route 22. He saw the ladder up there, and the guy was running a wire. And my father very casually took the ladder and put it on the car.
Drove away.
I believe the Bell guy got down through the stairway.
Eventually.
Yeah. By the way, his 11-year-old son was in the car at the time. And he said, "Don't tell your mother." Don't tell your mother that I stole the ladder. Don't tell your mother you were parked alone with me outside Aunt Linda's house for 4 hours.
Playing lookout.
Playing Jackie. Very, very dark situation. No, of course. It was a fun. Listen, childhood was great. I said in my first book again. I didn't know I wasn't rich till I met a rich person. I never, my father never saved a dime, but I never wanted anything at all. We didn't have a lot of money, but we were, Dan is a rich kid, by the way. McGrath, Filato's a rich kid from Chicago. You know what? He's a good guy though. He hides it. He doesn't flaunt it in front of you. Like a lot of these rich fucks I've met, he doesn't flaunt.
You got money, Dan?
No.
His old man got money.
Really?
Well, he doesn't want to let people know, which is a classy thing. A lot of people flaunt it.
He has that look in his eye.
We spent 2 days fixing the fucking water heater.
That's why.
Because it's a character-building exercise.
That's why he has money.
I'm not paying for a new one.
Anyway,
That's why he has money.
So the lawyer, who I forget his name, I think it was Mr. Schosselberger's team, Thalberg, found out that we stole a ladder. He looked around, slowly put the legal pad back in his put the beer down that we bought him.
A tear fell from his eye.
He closed the briefcase, and he got up, put his jacket on, and he went to the next case. He said, well, you guys, I wish you a lot of luck. Anyway.
Fucking maggot.
He left and smelled no money. And that was it. So we went on, I drove my mother to welfare. The welfare office's proud woman. And she got a job as a secretary, and there was no chance I was ever going to go to college anyway, so there was no money. But my sister put herself through FIT as a bartender. My sister's just a fucking superhero. And, it got dark. It got bad. It got bad for us. My family went through a bad time. Families go through bad times, and some are bigger than others. But we went through a horrible time in our lives where my mother was always tired, and because she would get up to turn my father so he wouldn't have a bed sore. We didn't have enough money for 24-hour nursing because we just had Medicaid. And they would leave at 5 o'clock when my mother would get home from her secretary job. And I was going from loser job to loser job. And if I wasn't at a job that, I was getting fired from, I was drunk or fucked up or had a bet on a game or I couldn't afford to lose the money. Or I was with Dan. And,
a job in itself.
But in any event, it was just really, my sister somehow got through the last 2 years of high school. And... never turned to drugs, ever, or drink, ever. I was just a straight A student. And, thank God she's a different person than me. Thank God, because if my mother or sister had this affliction they call addiction, which I think is a cop-out, I don't think it's a disease. It's all if that gets me some insurance money, that's fine. But disease it up. But, come on. It's a cop-out. I like being high. What the fuck? Is that the comedian?
That's the game.
Well, you have to go get it, Dan. What am I doing? I'm doing the show.
Let me get it.
Yeah. Anyway, we're doing this podcast at the same time we're doing the Comedians Roundtable, we're calling it. So Dave Attell and Russ Maneve and Dave Juskow are on their way up here.
Good, because I want a picture with him.
Dan clearly in the mood to give orders. I get him in a picture with a man.
He's going to sell the picture on
But let's
eBay.
We got to do this properly. So in any event, because I go off on a tangent with Dan, but Dan starts working as a cop in Plainfield, New Jersey, and where they would take Charles Manson. Let's face it. The Rich we met because he owned this amazing club. You can just tell Rich is a great businessman because he turned a triple-decker warehouse, basically, in the middle of a ghetto into the hottest club in central New Jersey, as far as I was concerned. I had made a commitment to myself to go into New York every night to do stand-up comedy or some kind of comedy to make it. The only thing that got me to stay was a night out at the clubhouse in Jersey. Smoking hot chicks.
A lot of women.
And he just knew how to handle it. He was an old-fashioned club owner, Rich. It took care of you, that type of guy. Friends with all the cops.
Oh, yeah.
I paid him enough.
Of course.
That's how I met Dan.
God, that I feel sorry for you. And Danny was a cop, and, clearly with his hand out. And, would go in, and when I met Rich, he was already friends with Dan, and the story of... again, first of all, Rich, say hi to everybody.
Good evening, everybody.
Yeah, the great Rich Bob.
Good.
They come in here earlier tonight because Rich is involved with a charity that I'm going to get involved with for the Warriors, which is a great, great thing. What is that, real quick? Before we go on,
It's called GI Driver.
GI Driver.
Yep.
And it's based on you're getting veterans who come back from the war jobs. You're employing them.
Yeah, well, not we're employing them. We're setting them up in their own business.
Right.
So the goal is to set them up with their own LLC, accounting firm, law firm.
So it's not a
everything.
handout. They have a sense of self-worth.
Yep,
Right.
exactly.
And Uber drivers, a type of job they might want, and
Uber, Lyft, whoever makes the next one up next week. You know, I don't know who that's going to be.
Hey, Dave Juska. These are Russ. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
What's up, fellas?
That's my buddies Rich and Danny. They're involved in a charity.
What's up, guys?
No pictures, please.
And we're telling stories from the old days. So Rich comes in here earlier tonight and says, Art, do you remember how we met? Dave, what's up, man? Dave, do you recognize that guy, Rich? Do you know Rich?
Yeah, hey, yeah.
Good
to see you, man.
Dave, how are you?
Yeah,
Nice to meet
Rich
you,
owned
man.
the club that employed Dave. We have one story to tell.
He was the best bar back I ever had.
You could smoke in here, Dave, whatever you want. We got one. We'll tell the story and then we'll get to the. I don't want to keep the guys waiting. What's up, Ross, my friend? What's up, buddy? All right, so this is always a loaded question. Rich says to me, Art, do you remember how we met? And I go, no. And Danny was a cop in. You had a club basically in the middle of the ghetto in Plainfield, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Not a
Right.
great neighborhood.
No.
Right. And it was right where Dan worked as a cop.
Yep.
Dan was either at the police station or at Knocker's strip club.
Can't believe you still remember that place, man.
Well, because I got calls from you going, Lang, I'm at Knockers.
Just chicks give me a blue job.
I mean, there were strippers that were pitch black, like Don Cheadle in a way. On the dance floor now is Yaphet Kotto's taint. I mean, jet black. And and they'd be next to you, Dan, and you're very white. And it would be startling.
Before and after.
It would be startling. Especially remembering the Scott Russell story. Coincidentally, that stripper hit you with a pretzel with mustard.
Go figure.
And again, Rich, a brilliant businessman, because he turned that into. I mean, when I'm talking a hot club, this was a hot club, all tripled down from Thursday to Sunday, and the cops basically infiltrated Rich and shook him down. And
shook him down.
Yeah. Oh, Rich, look, there's a 9mm I found. So it was around the time my father fell. You said it might even been the day of my father's funeral. Is that correct?
We're damn close to it.
Yeah, it was close to
Which
when
would have
you-
been 1990.
Yeah.
So here's the story of how Rich and I met. Go ahead.
So Dan comes to the club one day and says, "Hey, look, I got a buddy of mine. He's not doing too well, and he's had a bit of."
I was 22 years old.
Bit of trauma in his life, but I don't get off work until 10 o'clock, and this is about 8 o'clock at night. So I'm like, okay, what's up? He's like, oh, can I keep him here until I get off work? And
Well,
I'm
Dan,
like,
you got done with the police station. You still had to run for the bookie for another 2 hours.
Well, no, but I do with my dealer.
Dan would come to my house with money from the bookie, or to collect money from the bookie, in a fucking police uniform with a Plainfield cop car.
right.
Like, he would have that side thing on his shoulder, the radio thing.
Yeah.
He was on duty.
Yeah.
And he'd be counting out the money. Okay, Denver covered. And in the middle of him saying Denver covered, you heard a 211 in progress, and he would just turn it down. I go, Dan, doesn't that mean a police shootout? Yeah. Okay, so with the VIG, you're down.
It wasn't my family.
I said, Dan, a retarded internal affairs guy could arrest you.
That's right.
A retarded internal affairs guy could just follow you to my house. It was a half-hour drive. I get the lights on. He was a cop for a week. We went down to Atlantic City. He had his badge on him. I had $300. He had $1,000. When I say we were drinking in the car,
I had blow hanging out of my pocket.
we had his sister Chevette. He was doing
shaking.
111 miles an hour in a Chevette. Do you know what a Chevette
shaking.
does? It was like the astronauts going through their G-force test. And when I say drinking in the car, I was shaking a martini out the window.
Yeah. You've done it again. God's honest truth.
Lines of cocaine on the dashboard.
Yeah. Brian, Lang, roll your window up so I can do this line.
Yeah, and he's doing lines of coke while he's driving with his pinky. He was changing lanes with his knee.
Yeah.
And we got pulled over, I'm going to say, 18 times.
Oh, yeah.
And he just put the fucking badge out and said, I'm late for a pay job. And The guy wouldn't even get to the car. The trooper would go, okay, be careful.
The one guy did come up to the car. He goes,
yeah, what an asshole.
He goes, what's the fucking rush? He said, pay job, man. He goes, you might want to. Meanwhile, the cellophane's hanging out of my pocket for the coke. And he goes,
oh my God.
Trooper looks at it and goes, you might want to put that away.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Thank you, officer. Have a good night. Be safe.
Well, I got the Stern Show. The cops loved the Stern Show because Howard was always on the side of the cops. That's what Howard always said. Howard said, just side with the fucking cops, and no matter what, you know. And I was fine with it. So every time I got pulled over during that decade, I was on that show. This was the exact situation. I'd be doing like 111 in a 45, and the guy would go, "Motherfuckers, your license, Artie! I'm gonna fucking kill you. Hey, I got your book." So, but Dan had that kind of juice. I was so impressed. You were a cop for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You shot up a park in that time.
Oh, I thought you meant his whole career. With that.
No. I think 10 years.
You shot up a park.
Yeah, that wasn't a good night.
A bullet went into a piece of imported Italian furniture.
Yeah, cost $5,000.
You're lucky it wasn't an imported Italian.
Well, she just pulled up into her driveway. Bounced off her car, went right into the Italian furniture in the garage.
And Brian Hughes, another fun Irish guy, calls into his police department and goes, "If you hear shots at the park, don't send anybody. It's us."
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
on a recorded line.
Beep, beep, beep.
Dan got 3 months.
4 months.
Brian, I believe, is still loading a truck right now.
Yes, he is. He got fired.
He's working at White Castle on 22. He worked in a town where they didn't need cops as bad.
No.
Put it that way.
Oh, God.
And
it was Westfield.
Yeah.
I feel safer now.
Yeah.
It was Westfield, yeah.
So we meet Rich. How do you meet Rich, Dan? You go into the club one day and go give him the prices? Yeah. You go to the club and how much is it to stay open on a Thursday?
That's exactly right.
Well, it's more to do with parking mostly.
How much is it for the window not to get broken every Saturday? What was it? It was what happened?
Stumbled in there, man. It was only white club in town.
We noticed something about me and my police friends noticed something about the club.
We got
white people are there,
right?
It must be all right.
But Rich, did you? Well, first of all, man, to get in the mind of a businessman, what did you? Because I'm not a good businessman. 2 years ago, my friend, I opened a water park in Flint, Michigan. I'm currently trying to settle 4,000 lawsuits. 50 black kids with lead in their stomach. And I said, so what made you open a club there? Did you lose a bet or something? What happened?
No, like I think I was telling you guys before, like we got so sick and tired of trying to get home from Manhattan. We all go out in the city. City's great, love it, have a lot of fun there.
Yeah.
But then you got to get home.
But you turned that into a gold mine. A lot of people are tired of that. You turned that into a club idea.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
The whole idea was find a place that we wanted to hang out at, and that's what we did. We found this old building. It was an old Elks Club that had been closed after the riots.
Right. I remember I fucked the elk up there. I fucked the old elk quite several times. That's amazing. So you find this, but probably get it for dirt cheap, right?
Yep, exactly.
And it's so great.
Yeah, and then we open it up. And
when I tell you the pussy in this fucking club.
Immense.
Yeah. Oh, my God. And imagine Artie Lange pre-Mad TV trying to pick up broads.
There you go.
Well, you also.
I had to wait for them to, I mean, you know, I would say, Dan, I need another roof. Lang, 3 ain't working. I'm going for the fat chick.
Artie, it takes a half hour for it to kick in.
I'm going for the fat chick. Dan knows the exact amount of time. It takes 33 minutes to work.
Stop being impatient.
So you guys, you just become friends with Rich from going in there and hanging out. Yeah. How long did you know Rich before I started coming there? Before you told us? Because you let us know about this club. We're like,
we used to hang out at that point, so probably like a year and a half.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So here's how I meet Rich. Go ahead.
So anyway, Dan brings you in and says, "Hey, look,
it's like 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah, can you take care of him?" Basically said,
"Take care of him,
babysit him, will you?"
Yeah, well, just keep an eye on him because he's not in the best state right now.
Yeah, New Jersey.
So I said, "Okay." So we put you up on the second floor bar. We had this little bar up there. It was really nice. And I go downstairs.
He tells the bartender, give him what he wants, take care of him, don't worry about
it. Just whatever he's drinking is on me. So
what a good man.
I go downstairs and I'm in the office getting everything ready for the night to open because most people don't show up till 10 o'clock. You're there about 8:30. So you're the only person in the entire bar outside of my staff.
I'm first online.
Yes, you are.
So I'm downstairs, and all of a sudden one of the bouncers comes down and says, "Hey, Rich, we need you up on the second floor." Now that's usually an indication something's going on that's bad. So I'm like, what's the matter? Like, oh, no, you need to come upstairs. So I go upstairs, and there is the bartender, this beautiful blonde bartender.
Absolutely. What was his name?
Francine.
Yeah, Dan wants details.
Yeah. So I said, what's going on? She says, he's destroyed. And I'm like, who's destroyed? She's like, that guy that we brought up here, Artie. And I'm like,
that guy Artie.
Yeah. I'm like, what do you mean he's destroyed? He just got here. I go, what's he drinking? Oh, he's drinking vodka on the rocks with a Corvo chaser. So I'm like, all right, how many has he had? She said 4.
Oh, God. 4 of the 2 of each.
He's been here 10 minutes. Like, what? That's impossible.
That, by the way, was my drink. That was my drink order from 1987 till 95.
There you go.
An Absolute on the rocks with a lime and a full shot of tequila.
Oh.
And then I go over to you and I said, Artie, are you okay? And you said something like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I think it's time. We should get you home.
Right.
And then I drove you home, and then that's when
you drove me home.
I drove you home.
Wow.
Didn't even know him. He drives him over to you.
Just, I mean, that's good Jersey friends. You don't find those friends in Beverly Hills.
So.
You don't find them anymore. These millennial kids in their safe place. Come on.
No.
Dan was hung from a locker.
Yeah.
By the way, do you remember being hung from the telephone pole in Hoppy Park? I saw that too.
Yeah, who was that?
Charlie Pulsini hung you from the telephone pole.
Charlie Pulsini. He had to have help.
Same way. He did. He had a lot of help. You know, he had Sick Jack Santos. Sick Jack DeSantos.
Okay.
Yeah, and little puppy dog DeSantos. And Icky Sticky Apple Pie Ralph on too. All right, listen. The charity. I gotta do this podcast with my comic friends, and you guys stay, hang out. If you want to stay over here, but we're gonna. It's like a Johnny Carson show. You want to hang out, move to the other side of the couch.
Here we
but
go.
listen, you have a great charity. Mention it again, and we're gonna come back, and we just tipped the iceberg here because Dan Mcgrath, sick, the bad cop in the studio. Big news. And mention the charity again, and we'll do this again, bro.
Charity is called GI Driver, and you can go to gidriver.org, and there's a video there and a nice article that the Huffington Post did on us. It'll explain everything that we're doing.
Yep.
Get Twitter.
Or you can follow us on USA.
I'll be following them.
USA_ GI Driver.
Right. And I'll be involved with this. It's a really good fucking cause, man.
Yeah, because you said you're going to do some concerts for us coming up. We're going to figure that out.
Stand-up shows, and it's going to be a lot of fun. This is a good cause, and it's a good idea too. So this was fun, just hanging out at the tip of the iceberg. So we're going to do more here, guys. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, thanks for having
us.
me.
Come in next week if you want. We're on vacation.
See you.
All right, we'll take a break. We're back with the comics. These guys may be here, and I hope they are because I love them. Dan, I love you. Rich, I love you too, buddy. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Artie.
Dan, I'm on the fence about you.
In your mouth.
You baby gorilla.
Don't make me break my foot off in your ass!
You baby gorilla.
That's my wife, mama.
Look who it is. It's the Comedians Roundtable. I feel like Byron Hunt. No, Byron Allen. Wasn't Byron Hunt a giant? He was
know who you meant.
He was a middle linebacker.
I hate that guy.
Byron Allen looks the same.
Oh, he's such a
Has anyone here ever done that show?
I have not done it.
No, you haven't?
I got thrown off it.
Did you?
How'd you get
Did
thrown
you
off of
really?
that show?
Wait, well, first of all, there's Russ Maneve, David Tell, and Dave Juskow. This is my David Susskind and the your show of show writers. But so wait, Russ, you got kicked out.
Yeah.
I have to. Is that somewhere on YouTube? I hope that's amazing.
No, he didn't do it on the air, obviously.
What happened?
It's funny. It's like when they put two animals in a cage that are natural enemies, and we just didn't like each other immediately.
You and Snake and the Mongoose. So it had nothing to do with the other comics. It was just you and Byron.
Yeah, he just didn't. He just didn't like me, my material.
Really? He's the worst.
I was getting a lot. First of all, that whole audience is hired, by the way.
I would imagine.
And he wants like squeaky clean. So he wants to package this show like anywhere he can to make the most money.
Well, the edits on that show are so horrendous. Like they just smash cut in another bit like that makes no sense with what just happened.
But it's a couple times he was like, "Stop! You can't say that."
You're kidding.
Really?
Wait, who does? You're kidding me.
I'm serious.
Wow. Wait, you're the only guy who did that too.
So I went in kind of not happy with him because somebody sent me an article about him that he tries to avoid all the unions that work, like the camera guys and all that stuff. So he gets these guys that don't know what they're doing, and in the middle of the thing,
he goes to the shape up with the guy selling oranges.
Well, yeah. So in the middle of the thing, he's like, "Stop! Dude, you're not doing it right. You're not holding the camera." And he's yelling at the camera guys, and the guys don't really know what they're doing because they're not.
What a nightmare!
And he's just like one of those guys who's just trying to just make as much money as possible and doesn't give a fuck. And
it's been going on for I can't remember when it wasn't on.
Yeah,
there.
it's like 30 years.
Yeah,
it's always had a show.
Danny Thomas produced it.
He went right from Up with People.
Make room for Dan.
Wasn't he on Up with People? No.
Was he?
Something like that.
Well, he
oh no, was he on Incredible People? Is that what you meant?
Yes, he was on something like that.
Real people. That's incredible. Or
that's
real,
incredible.
Real
right.
people.
No, Real People. It was
right. There was those two different.
Yes, he
shows.
was. He was on Real People.
Oh my God, you're right. That was in the 70s.
And you know that happy persona he puts on?
Yes,
dude,
it's all bullshit.
Dude, that as soon as it's a stop of the camera, that is gone, dude.
The least threatening black person on air.
That is sucked out of the room. He is total douchebag CEO. And he's like, and just I'm like,
that makes sense. Can you imagine he yells, "Is this the first time you're operating a camera?" Actually, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, right. But just an unlikable guy.
It comes off that way. Some of those guys, like Hillary Clinton, some people can't hide it.
Yeah.
Which is a perfect segue into the political.
By the way, I just saw the Wiener documentary. Anybody see that?
Who Wiener? Which Wiener?
Anthony Weiner.
No, I didn't see that.
Dude, that sounds great. I thought you meant Mafia Wiener.
But they set out to do a documentary about him for his run for mayor.
Right.
And this is after the first sex scandal. They don't know that they obviously don't know what's going to happen again.
They got
wow.
lucky.
So how great!
What
for
a
the
piece
documentary
of documentary gold.
Right.
Absolutely.
So as they're doing it, this new stuff's coming out, and Huma is all over it. His wife.
That's his wife?
Yeah.
Huma.
Huma.
Right.
That's like
you would never think he would cheat on a woman named Huma.
His wife's name is like an acronym for a chemical company.
But what's weird about it is that here's the weird part is that I think he could run. I think he could run now. I watched the documentary. You actually start to like him in a weird way.
Wow.
And you find her bizarre.
Right.
You find her behavior bizarre. Like there's her emotion. There's like a governor chip on her, and she's almost like, is she enjoying this on some level? Like you're looking at her and she's hard to figure out. She really is.
Well, here's the thing about like sex scandals like that. I don't think anybody cares anymore about the actual sex. I think they care about the deviant mind of. Does it make them like it's a horny guy's one thing. Like Gary Hart. Like nowadays, I don't think anybody would give a shit about Gary Hart having Donna Rice on his fucking.
Right.
But is he a psycho because of it?
Yeah. It depends on the guy. Trump has proven it depends on the guy too. So the right things line up, you're gone. The little thing, you're gone.
Well, Bill Clinton is the one guy that Trump doesn't look like a womanizing prick in front of, and he's using that clearly.
Oh my God.
He's open about that shit, and he's pulling those Howard tapes from 2005.
Right.
If they heard the shit off the fucking air, and I'm willing to blackmail. That makes sense. Well, you didn't hear off the air.
Wait, there's a knock at the door. Get Danny back in here.
That is the stuff during the commercial was when people were let loose there. But Trump. Well, what do you think about it? Does anybody have, like, as a comic, like Dave Attell, as a comedian, this Trump shit? Have you ever seen? It's almost too easy. Have you ever seen a bigger beach ball coming in for jokes?
I don't know. It just seems like they have these. For a while there, Hillary was like blowing him out of the water. Now it's a dry heat. And they're like I think he's beating her now.
Yeah,
pretty much.
And then
some polls.
not to take sides or anything, but it's kind of amazing. Trump, like, first of all, he's like the unloved, unwanted man. His own party, he took out all the real politicians. He took his own party will not even give him the thumbs up.
It's unreal.
And now he's taking on an ex-president and his wife. Like, it's
care.
just like, who's next? I mean,
the Pope. I mean, he took out the. I mean, the Pope was like a speed bump
This guy, how much does he believe in himself? Does he jerk off into a mirror? I mean, look at this guy.
It is self-confidence on a level I don't think anyone's ever seen.
Super confident.
Did you read the article in the New York Times about him? This long thing.
Yeah. It's
and
fascinating.
It turns out he's like insecure and worried. And the guy, I may not win this. So I think a lot of these guys that come off so confident, deep down, he's like, he's probably
I think so.
he probably can't believe it.
No,
I
I really don't want to fuck my daughter. It's all bullshit.
I love that he said. I love that he goes. They asked him, they go, if you don't win, what would you think? And he goes, I'll think it's a waste of money and a waste of time. And I think that's
directly honest.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's pretty
honest. That's why people like him. He's honest, and it's what people want to hear when after those things in Belgium.
Yeah.
When Hillary Clinton's like, we're going to get strong people to figure this out.
Right.
He's like, no, we're going to fuck them up.
Yeah.
That's what everybody wants to hear at that time. He said, I'm the only person that actually voted for him, and everybody keeps getting angry at me at the clubs.
Yeah,
because Republicans had to vote for him in the primaries because I wasn't going to vote for Cruz. And then I was talking to Sarah yesterday. She goes, well, then don't vote. And I'm like, but that's not the answer. I don't want to not vote because I'm thinking of running for Manhattan Borough President.
That was amazing. You actually bragged about political intelligence and name dropped in the same sentence.
I'm really good at that.
No, listen, a lot of people,
I was working the clubhouse back in 1992, right?
I think the fact that Jeb Bush, a lot of these politicians know how to deal with somebody with human emotion. Like Jeb Bush was a robot.
Oh my God!
Trump is showing real emotion. They don't know how to deal with that.
Isn't that the best? That they all don't know how to deal with. That's the best part about this. Whether he wins or loses, like he's cut down everything. Like he made the Republican Party just look stupid. He makes
Bernie
the Democratic
Sanders,
Party look stupid.
Bernie Sanders was the same thing on the other side.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's fantastic. It's the best election since 1801.
I mean, it is.
I was in Kentucky, and they love Bernie Sanders now.
Really
do they? Yeah.
No, because the coal and all that stuff, and
yeah. Well, what she said is the stupid. Who says that out loud?
Yeah,
I'm going to take away jobs from coal miners. I'm going to put so many coal miners out of fucking work.
He has like 4 jobs down there. It's like
I know
coal, jockey, horse jizz, freezer.
I'm gonna,
guy at the airport. That's it.
Well,
I was just down there. I'm telling you right now.
Who says the way she worded it though? She might as well go. I am going to abandon so many more Marines and let them die.
Wow.
I'm gonna take away so many jobs from you people. She was trying to. She's not a good campaigner. She just isn't. And she gets more hateable by the fucking day.
I used to love Bill, and I find him unlikable now when he's up there just yelling.
Well, again, he looks like a guy, a paper towel that was full of cum and it got wrung out.
Yeah, he's just a.
The problem is like the ex-president, like Obama's going to be an ex-president. What is he going to do? Like he's funny and he's a smart guy, so I assume he will do something in the comedy world.
He's going to tour with Chris Rock or something.
I assume like Oddball Fest 2018.
He loves roasting at that dinner, and he's good at it.
Yeah, he's really good.
No comic can follow him.
He's really that good.
I told you I saw him speak after Hamilton. And he was amazing. He was really funny.
Well, who couldn't follow that?
But he was hilarious, and I don't
mean, he is. He's good at. He's good at delivering.
And he was just sitting. He was like leaning on the podium, like he was like a comic, like leaning on the microphone stand.
Well, and then he's like Bruce up there with the.
But Bill, like he loves the action. This is what he does. He's no Jimmy Carter. Like he'll do like a charity, but I think in his mind he's like, I wish I could get back in the action.
Yeah, he's okay with Jews.
Yeah, he's dying. You're right. That's like he's missing it. He's yearning for the. But the creepiest thing ever, if I guess it is true, he ditched his Secret Service agents to go on a cruise or a jet with that pedophile, a well-known pedophile.
Where?
What's the guy's name?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Did they go to Little Boy Island?
It was 20.
Okay, the guy. They started a couple of boy bands, but the guy is known for like deviant pedophilia, like weird shit with kids.
Really?
And Clinton went on 4 private cruises with him.
Wow.
And ditched the Secret Service
Jets. They were jets.
Private jets.
I like this new format here, political gossip.
But I have no
Listen,
doubt.
it's called hard-hitting journalism.
They called it. There's some whole eyes wide shut world out there of like billionaires.
I agree. What's the other password? Your wife is campaigning in Iowa.
That's right.
That's a great movie.
That is correct.
That's
They
a
wanted
great
to get
movie.
into the building.
Oh God, I just wanted Sidney Pollack to kill Tom Cruise and everything. That's an underrated film.
Yeah.
Love it.
Nicole Kidman's ass.
And he died, so we don't even know. Like it might have been a comedy. We don't even know. He wasn't done editing.
I think Stanley Kubrick clearly had an IQ north of 200, and I think he was fucking with Tom Cruise. He kept saying, "No, you got to come back. We got another year."
Yeah.
You can't do Jerry Maguire 2. You got to come back here.
That is so true.
I think one night Tom Cruise won the Golden Globe for Jerry Maguire and immediately couldn't go to the after party because he had a call time of 6 a.m.
Wow.
On the set of Eyes Wide Shut.
Wow.
And all that shit in the orgy scene is supposed to be even crazier because they edited it after Kubrick died.
Oh,
he
they
wouldn't
did?
let them touch the film.
Tom Cruise, you mean?
Well,
that's what I had heard. I
Tom
remember
Cruise let the studio edit it because it couldn't be released as a rated R. It would have been an NC-17. If you watch the orgy scene when he's walking through, there's clearly CGI'd couples in front of couples just fucking at a level that
Really?
like Lexington Steel with a brand new whore.
Wow.
And you see the chick's ass fat going outside the CGI'd couple.
Wow.
And Kubrick wouldn't let them do that. And after he died, they did it.
Really?
So, yeah.
Because I remember when he died and Tom Cruise was like, nobody's touching this film. Everybody relax.
And then
like it was kind of cool.
Yeah,
but
guess
then
what,
you're saying he didn't give a shit after that. That was all for show.
No, he did. He's basically the guy from Scientology said, listen, just get to the top room. Get to the top room and shut
I
up.
was always hoping it was
Wow.
How about that? Did anyone see the documentary about Scientology?
I did.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, Clear, Going
yes,
Clear.
Going
Yeah.
Clear. The creepy guy who runs that, the Greg Gutfeld looking.
The commander.
Yeah.
Wait, what about the documentary on The Shining? Do you see that one?
Oh, that's frightening.
Where they clearly just made it to make Shelley Duvall look like an asshole. That's the only reason it was released.
Well, I've worked with Shelley Duvall.
Did you?
I actually have. Yeah. This movie, The Fourth
She
Floor.
wasn't an asshole, though, right? They just made her look like that.
A bit of a weirdo.
She was just yelling at her the whole time.
Well,
I know, just yelling at her, and then the best is when James Mason comes in. He goes, "Hello," and Jack Nicholson's like, "This is, this whatever," and he's like, and it's like, and they didn't even introduce me to James Mason when he came here. He goes, I wanted to meet him, but I'm friendly.
Listen, I love Dave, but I think as soon as we mentioned the word documentary, he said, "I'm getting my James Mason."
I knew you were gonna. I know it was so obvious.
Well, I wouldn't even. I mentioned the fucking documentary
No, I had
about
it coming.
something else, and you
I was thinking of
crowbar in the
Stanley
Shining.
Kubrick. Stanley Kubrick, because it's the documentary I saw.
Like, what documentary do I do an impression?
I do an impression.
Did you see the Howard Cosell documentary?
Yes, I did, and I can't believe. How dare they?
Did you see the
Madison?
See, Christopher Walken has 2 lines in the documentary about Georgia Walken.
Oh, wait, damn it, I almost had it.
Can you do Christopher Walken?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I pretty much do like everybody else does.
Yeah.
Jay Moore doing Christopher Walken.
Right.
Well, I thought for a second.
No.
Possible. Oh,
His
when
James
we were
Spader
doing
is-
The Odd Couple, when we did it after Catch a Rising Star, me and I can't remember, we did it on off Broadway at this place, and Christopher Walken was doing a show next door. And every night we would see him outside smoking. We're like, Chris, when do you come in and see The Odd Couple?
Chris?
Yeah, well, we became friends with him. He's smoking outside, and he's like, I can't see The Odd Couple. You understand? I'm doing a show at the same time. It was very exciting.
The Odd Couple.
The Odd Couple.
Yeah. Well, he.
That was 99.
That was not a. That was a decent.
It was all right. I'm doing the best I can.
I just saw Pulp
Trying to keep
Fiction
up.
the other night, and that speech we're about to watch in his father's.
It's amazing.
It really should be on a real. That should be his. If you put one thing he did in a time capsule, it should be that speech.
And you know what the best
year
part about
was that?
94?
Wow.
Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
94. Yeah.
And the best part about that speech is how important it is to the story. That's why it's good. That's what makes him go to such efforts to get that watch that you get it.
Right.
And that's what's so important about it, too. But yeah, what an acting performance.
Do you think that was a subtle thing people missed?
I just. Why do I even come?
Who is you
You're
guys
gonna
know?
keep teeing him up. I'm gonna hit him.
You guys know all the people in that movie. Who is the woman at the end, like when they robbed the diner? Like
She's the chick
Amanda
from
Plummer.
No, Green, something Green.
I always
Ellen
have
Green?
a crush on her, because she always plays the
I
same.
do too.
I thought it was Amanda
the mental
Plummer.
patient.
You know, she looks like these. You know the commercial out right now where the chick plays diarrhea.
Yes.
She reminds me of one of those theater chicks who plays diarrhea.
I'm positive it's Amanda Plummer.
When I saw that girl in that
yeah.
commercial, I was like, "This is like the affordable Kathy Griffin."
No, that's what I mean.
I was like,
Yeah,
"Who
the-
is this girl doing Kathy Griffin's
the
act from
audition-
like 10 years ago?"
The one who was with
The
Tim
audition,
Roth,
they have the
right?
signs.
The one who was with Tim Roth and the
You
diner.
still on this? You do a Tim Roth impression, right?
That's
why you brought that. That's why you brought that. I don't
do him as a Russian Jewish mobster.
Do you mean the one with Tim Roth?
You listen, you have to go to Mother Russia.
Come on, baby.
I need you in Bay Ridge in the morning.
You in 3CP1 television.
Do you mean the film The Legend of 1900? No, her name is something Green. I guarantee it.
No, it's
Dan,
Amanda
of course, has
Amanda Plummer.
It's Amanda Plummer. I guarantee it.
Yeah, there's something I like her. Like she has that nervous energy.
Was she the one in the what's the one with Best Little Whorehouse?
No, that's Ellen Green.
That's Ellen
right,
Green.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I knew it was a Green there.
She's in talk radio too.
No, Lauren Green is in something.
I had a crush on Lauren Green in Battlestar Galactica. Commander Adama, I believe.
He was amazing in that.
Yeah, that's as far as I go on St. Patrick's Day. I wear a shirt with a picture of Lauren Green.
Lauren Green.
I don't love the Irish that much.
She was the kind of retarded girl in The Fisher King.
I told you she always plays like a special needs kind of quality.
Well, the chick, I'm glad Dave saw it. Does anyone else know what I'm talking about? There's a woman who's like a cute woman who has stomach pains.
Yeah,
and then
very pretty.
She's very good. She's pretty, but a quirky chick plays her diarrhea, like dressed up like up in a brown.
Yes,
it's on Fox News all the time.
She's so improv UCB.
Yes,
that energy.
She's so happy to play diarrhea.
Yeah, right. That energy.
Of course, I can play diarrhea.
And she's supposed to be an annoying fuck. Like diarrhea is annoying in your stomach, and she literally they said you could be diarrhea.
Yeah, she's great.
And I guarantee she's making a lot of money. They play it. It's that in the William Devane Gold commercial.
That's the gateway to the burn notice. Just gonna get on that. Can I do a shout out before we go
right
any
ahead.
further? I was in Kentucky, and homeboy Chris passed during homeboy Chris, the legendary horse down there. During the Preakness.
He did not die.
Yeah, he did. He died.
Two horses
from
died.
Adia. And I tried to make fun of it, and people got really upset.
Really?
So I apologize.
Well, let's
The
make fun of it
Preakness
here.
is between the Kentucky Derby and the Belmont. It's
Aren't
kind
people
of
such pussies?
kind of
They were upset about that thing.
Can you repeat?
No, down there you don't fuck with the horses.
Really?
I mean, honestly, they are cash. That's what it's about. Horse money.
But what did you do? Like the people in the club got mad at a joke?
No, I could just tell they turned off a bit because they're like local legends, you know.
Right.
Like, homeboy Chris put my kid through college, you know, like that kind of thing.
It's like making fun of the hurricane boxer in Patterson.
Right.
You can't do that.
Artie, do you remember when they had like the Time Magazine Best Sports Legends of like the '80s or something, or whatever, or forever of the
Man
century?
of War.
Well, they have the century, and they have.
I remember it
Michael
came out in
Jordan,
1990.
They have Babe Ruth, and they have, and then they just have a picture of Secretariat.
Yeah. It makes Babe Ruth look ridiculous. There's a big fat person and a horse.
Well, let's talk about it. How much money do you think you need before you can buy a horse? Would you know this, Artie, or no?
I think, like, I take it with, I say the same answer to every question. You can buy a yacht when you have enough money for 5 yachts.
Right.
You know, so I say when you have enough money for a whole, like, an entire row of horses, you can afford it.
Well, it depends on the horse. I mean, that's,
Well, if the horses come,
if it's sired by a fucking.
Yeah, no,
exactly.
It's really a lot of money. I mean, like, not kidding around.
But
It's
the
like-
range on it is huge,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
You need an illegal alien to jerk it off. That's expensive.
That's true.
Who won that game, Jessica?
They got to relax.
The
Toronto.
Raptors beat the
Toronto.
Cavs. The series tied at 2-2.
amazing.
Wow. Imagine he knocks fucking the Cavs out.
That would be- well, what about Oklahoma City? It's the same thing. If it's going to be Oklahoma City and Toronto, people are going to be pissed.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's the worst thing since the bombing in Oklahoma City. Listen, a healthy Oklahoma City is tough. You know, with all those guys in the game, they haven't been healthy in years.
Yeah. The network executives are going to shoot themselves in the head.
LeBron James, well, he's him and. I think after Trainwreck, he got a deal with Bill Hader, right? They're doing 3 more films. LeBron James is really funny in that movie.
Yeah, he's good.
Like, he fucking...
Those guys really take it seriously now. Like, the acting thing, they're like really into it.
Doesn't it depress you about what we do? Like, he easily sort of did that.
Well, it's kind of like famous itself, like, is like a magical power.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you could just like throw a famous guy in a situation and he'll like
But
fame it up.
That's true.
Peyton Manning is really funny too. It's really annoying.
Yeah.
he's
Yeah, but
really good naturally.
to their advantage, all the nerves are taken out because they're athletes.
no, exactly.
There's
That's a
no
good
pressure
point.
on them.
He's a hero already.
It's like Obama. It's like Obama doing jokes. Like he has no pressure to kill.
No, but he's really good at it, though.
No, I'm
I mean,
saying
like
he is
he
good.
is naturally good.
That's
He's
how
a
he
funny
won.
guy.
Yeah.
That's how he won.
He's a rock
He's
star.
good at that
Exactly.
kind of stuff.
I think that in the last election, the same day, all of those like really white bread, like Rick Perry, all those guys with no rhythm at all, they were on the cover of the New York Times looking nerdier than the other. That same day, Barack Obama sang "Sweet Home Chicago" with Mick Jagger at the White House, and it's just like you're rooting. Who am I voting for? That guy.
Wow. He really is the coolest president we've ever had.
Listen, I voted for this is shallow. When George Bush threw that strike in the World Series, I voted for him.
And you guys always forget about Polk too, you know, and a lot of because he was a pretty fun guy and he was a
Polk?
drinker. Yeah,
you thinking of Taft?
We forget about him.
Taft was a good eater.
No, but I wonder, like when you're done being president, like George Washington at least had the class to go back to his slave plantation.
I got some fucking to do.
Got to get back to business. Martha? Where's my whip? All right.
People call those guys brilliant businessmen. It's easy to do the books when you're fucking free labor.
Yeah.
You can take that off the fucking market. What about,
you're right.
You know, it's free labor, yeah. I mean, come on. They offered him king. That's why he's the great. They said, be king. He's like, idiots. What did we just fight?
No, he's unbelievable.
You know?
I've read many books on him. He's unbelievable.
George Washington?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Well, did you hear the day
Do an
of...
impression, Dave?
Actually, I do a John Adams.
Well, you know, all
You guys...
You know I do.
You guys are clearly forgetting Ulysses S. Grant.
As a series
He
regular
was amazing
on
in the Wild Wild West.
I'm a series regular on the AMC show Turn, which is about I remember when that show came out, I was like right after like Breaking Bad was like you could still like feel the hot embers of Breaking Bad, how cool that show was. And they're like, do you like Spy? Yes.
I know. Who
do you
picked
like
that? Who got away with that
Revolutionary War? No.
Exactly.
You know, it was like such a weird
disappointment.
It's a show about American traders, and like you're waiting. Okay, when's the Benedict Arnold episode?
That's happening now.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Well, I hope they're stretching that out.
it?
No, I don't, but I always like the commercials. They try and make it look exciting. But it's hard to take anybody exciting when they got buckles on their shoe. They're like buckling around, and the guy's got that weird hat. Where's my weird hat that'll never last past this century?
Who's getting those calls for the auditions? Like I remember my old manager Peter Principal. Like, Artie, we got you. You're reading for Chris McAdams.
You're gonna be you're gonna be playing a barrel maker, like weird jobs. You know?
Artie, you told me one year you were a Gullery Skype, right? A Gullery Scott, something.
You're a guy in the piles, dying of smallpox.
Do you know Dave just got? They're doing James Mason.
Well, I had no idea.
That guy, who's the guy who does him in Broadway? Danny Rose in the beginning.
Oh God, right? Is that comic?
guy
Right?
does
Goes,
a perfect-
Well, you know, I was doing my James Mason
Because I know that this is what the people wanted to hear.
Can we go now? Are we through? Have we had enough to eat?
You know the
Are you
old show.
finished?
You know
That is a great movie. That Broadway. I gotta watch that again.
It's a piece of
you're right.
art.
But who is
It's a
that
piece
guy?
of art.
Yeah.
That movie.
Who are the comics at the table? Do you know? I know one of them's in Seinfeld, right? The guy
Is he?
The guy who's telling the story is the guy with the astronaut pen, right?
One of them is actually his manager. One of them is what's his face. The name is on Rocky movies too.
Woody's manager?
But they're all
Charles
Borscht
Jaffe? Charles Jaffe? or-
Charles Jaffe.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know that.
But
the
he
guys
doesn't-
in the restaurant.
Yeah,
they're all
but
Borscht Belt.
But the other
comics,
guys
right?
are all comics. Yeah.
vaudeville people.
The guy tells that joke.
James Mason.
Right, I know. I'm sorry. I think about that all the time because the guy couldn't wait to get it in.
That's why I started doing James Mason.
That's a great that movie. Like just the scene at that wedding, money. It's a fascination.
What
do you got there?
Artie, I don't know whether you know. I put it in the Godfather script, but I forgot to bring money. What is this? $20. It's a fascination. It means nothing. It means nothing to me. It's a fascination.
I met that guy Michael Badalucco once, one of the guys doing that, and I said to him, "What else? What movies have you done?" He goes, "I got a small part in Broadway." Then I go, "What'd you play?" He goes, "A money ripper." I go,
awesome.
a what? He goes, "A money." I guess that's what it said in the audition. And it took me. I was trying to put it together. Oh, you ripped? You one of the guys ripping the money? He goes, "Yeah, money ripper."
That was my favorite scene until I saw it again. Like that's what stuck with me is the money.
But
Ripping the money.
the woman playing the mother, talk about.
I love that. That's
nailing it.
Yeah.
My
My son is sensitive. He's 40. That to me, I was like, wow. It's like a Long Island.
Broadway. Dan Rose says to him, "How old are you, Vinny?" 40.
How old are you, sweetie?
40.
Yeah, that's the best when he gets into trouble. Just, how old are you? He's trying to get out with a bit.
I wrote you a poem. Yeah, that movie is fucking amazing.
Barney Dunn. You want a name? But you know what I use in Barney Dunn situation? I use Dan Natterman.
Is something wrong with you, Dave? First of all, how good is Mia Farrow in that? Playing a
She
gun
got nominated
moll.
for that. She was amazing.
And you think while they were shooting it, he said, "I'm gonna fuck your daughter." You know that fucking broad who was gonna die of malaria with flies around her fucking head, and because of you, she now has better Nick tickets than Tom Brokaw. I'm gonna fuck her.
I see them
No,
walking
you're
around.
kidding.
Like that's somebody you never like in New York. You're always supposed to bump into celebrities. Like you never run into Mei Ling or any of these.
I run into.
You'll never believe it was at the Home Depot today. I mean, like keeps them cloistered. Like
You know why you never run into her? Because you never walked through the dungeon underneath Woody Allen.
But I actually
that's
do
rich
see
New
them.
York. That's like the rich New York.
I see them up in Central Park.
Strolling around. Yeah.
Well, she's with the baby or whatever she's
Really?
with. And
you-
he's just laying low, you know.
Yeah,
Artie, you know who I always
She
run
has
into?
a big forehead, that broad.
No.
You know who I always run into in
Just
my
saying.
neighborhood?
You had to bring her down to our level.
Dave, you'll feel better. You'll feel better with this.
She's a real Ben Creed. That's a 5-head, not a 4-head.
Yeah, she's
Sorry.
a big Asian
Wordplay
broad.
there. I like that.
Sorry, Dave. Go ahead.
Oh no! I was just saying. Do you know who I always run into in my neighborhood? I guess he must live
Beetlejuice?
no, the guy that played Rat in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, that guy's great.
Oh wow.
That guy should have an Oscar.
Well, you know it's weird. We auditioned for the same role in the Woody Allen play back in 1981. Would he run a?
Who, you and him?
Yeah.
I gotta say, not me and you. You're getting me wrong.
No, they were my drama
What
teacher in high
play?
school. The Floating Light Bulb.
Wow.
And then my drama teacher goes, "Listen, I was just reading backstage, and Woody Allen's looking for." He said it has to be 16, Jewish, big nose, and I'm like, "Well, why did you come to me?" And then he's like, "Come on, it'll be fun. We'll meet Woody Allen, maybe." And
You know, when I tweeted this, people on Twitter said, "Is he going to tell the flying light bulb?"
The floating light bulb, damn
Floating
it.
light bulb.
Anyway, that kid won a Tony, but for playing a retard, I could never have done that role.
Is that the same kid from Bad Boys? The
No,
big
that's
nose
Eric
kid?
Gurney. I don't know why I know
And what
that
is he
name.
doing
I'm
now?
sorry.
Do
He
you
does
know, Dave?
nothing. He was in the
How
two
did you
movies,
immediately know that actor?
Bad Boys and
Names.
Arthur. I don't know why I know.
He
I
was
don't
like a
know
Jewish
why.
role model.
We used to
for
call
a
him the
while.
Judd Hirsch kid.
He was?
Yeah, looked just like Judd Hirsch.
Yeah, because he was like a Jewish role model. Like he was like a bad Jewish kid.
He was the Elliot Gould of our time. I looked him up online. I think he just became a manager of a bank or something.
Oh, good for him.
This is what I do.
How many people Google Eric Gurney in a day?
Well, I got a lot of free time. I
got a
told
lot
you,
of
I
links.
don't do much at work.
So now, what do you think? What do you think, Dave, about LeBron?
Homeboy Chris?
LeBron James.
We don't know till the toxicology comes back. I'm a horse forensic science. Sorry.
What
do I feel?
No, about LeBron James, the situation here with the.
What
I mean,
happened?
just guy was saying it because he's a degenerate gambler like myself. What do you go with here? I don't know what to do. I have to keep gambling.
Me too. And there's a guy at work who's been really good, and all of a sudden, these past 3 days, everything has been a disaster. Like
For
a
his
major upset.
picks, you mean?
Yeah. I mean, we've
Why?
been
What
picking the Cavs. We thought for sure today they were going to come back. There's no way this could happen again.
I had a guy.
I think you have to take the Cavs at home next time, right?
I had a guy, and Russ can attest to this, an old guy from the port who used to be an expert with hockey, and he called in a tip, and it was right. How right was that tip?
So right, it was immediately right.
Yeah,
too.
the guy said you got to bet the fucking St. Louis Blues against the Sharks tonight.
Wow.
In a pick'em. He goes the Sharks and the goalie. He said is walking around. He sounds like change. That means he's in our pocket.
It was like 3-0 instant.
And then you hear a foghorn. I gotta go.
I'll say he's in our pocket.
Oh, they won 6-3.
They won 6-3, but then I was almost parlayed it. This is the loser I am.
Wait, tonight?
Yes.
Because I bet the over on that tonight.
No, the other night. I almost parlayed it with the under. I would have connected bets and lost the fucking under.
Jesus. What is going on here?
Norm Macdonald told me once at the beginning of season 2 of the Norm show. I believe he went to $100,000 an episode, and I go, "Congratulations!" He goes, "Hey, I'm going to step it up on the hockey unders."
I always bet the over on that because it's always 5, so I always figure you can push. You know?
Well, no, that's what he said. He goes 5 and a hook, man.
Yeah.
The hook will ruin you with the over, man. But the
Oh yeah,
under-
if it's 5.5, then take the right. But if you have just the 5, I always like
Yeah,
well, maybe
because
I'll
who
push.
scores goals in a hockey game? It's a lock.
Yeah,
It's free money. Just bank it.
Do you guys bet on the Olympics? You bet on that?
I have.
I think I bet on soccer. In
The Olympics is the only time it's all right to be racist. You can root for somebody
And who runs
against somebody just because they're a different nationality.
Is that like a different? Is that like a different bookie? Like, is it like a Jean
It's a more
d'Arc?
sophisticated.
Hello.
You got to call our guy.
Speak up! I cannot hear you.
gotta
Did you
call-
say
gotta call-
Ukraine in?
You got to call our guy in Marseille.
I'm sorry. There's gunfire here.
You got to call our
Please.
guy in Nice. You say, how dare you say you want the under?
And it'd be funny. Like he doesn't understand your names because they're so short.
You won? Have fun collecting.
Yes, I understand you won. How are you going to get there now?
I'm sending a man with a cloudy eye over. You better pay him.
I'm sending an albino.
There's an albino with a limp who will be showing up at your door. Give him a kidney.
I'm sending you a fat Asian man with red hair.
The international gambling scene.
Yes, my headquarters at the Villanelle Court.
We take Deutschmark. We take Sterling. We take Kugaran. I don't know this paper. No paper.
This is how an organic sketch happens.
Call the stomach girl. We need her in there as a Ukrainian.
Wait a minute. Were you diarrhea? Were you the disease, the sickness where someone shits all the time? You were. How'd you get the accent down?
So you guys got money on this game right now, right?
It's over now.
No,
I did.
No. I want something on something.
I bet Cleveland -7. That lost, but then at the halftime, I bet the over, and that won. So
Wait a minute. Wait 1 second. So you bet halves?
Yeah.
You got the line on what? -7 in the first half?
No, -7 in the whole game. So I knew I was losing that. So in the second half, I bet the over, the total over. I
What
think
was
won.
that?
96.5.
Oh my God.
Russ, what do you
in.
bet on? What do you bet on?
I almost never bet sports, to be honest.
You don't?
No. Rarely.
Faggot.
Well, if you say all of us are gambling, in life, if you think about it,
That's true.
we are. I mean, we are. I've been liking the sports gambling lately because basketball playoffs. I used to really be good at handicapping college hoops. And if certain people heard me say that, they would not stop laughing. That's the one. College hoops, for some reason, I found if I really studied it, it's the one type of sport I could handicap on some level.
Yeah, I think there's a bunch of people that can. That for some reason that sport is the one that there's always a guy.
Yeah, every game's exactly 2 hours.
Well, that was The Gambler. The movie was
Oh, is
all
that?
about like,
That's right. He had to go and say, "Would you mind just cutting down a little bit? You can win the game."
I thought it was college basketball. Was
Yeah, you're right.
broke
That
them.
was
That is so dark in that movie with at the end because they got the fucking mob guys go, "We got this kid." Like that's a throwaway line, but the kid's like now owned by the mob.
Yeah,
it's so
Well, that's how they
terrible.
put- that's how
In which version with
what's his
Elliot
name?
Gould?
Henry, what's his name from the Goodfellas?
Henry, yeah, oh yeah. Well, he
That's
was
how
the,
he went to
the
jail
Boston
first.
Point Shave.
Right.
That
That's
was
it.
there. He would sit.
Wait, what happened?
Talk about evil. Henry Hill would go up there with the scariest guy in the fucking family, and he would sit in the eye line of the kids they fucking.
Oh shit!
To give the kid a wicked look.
Oh, that's in real life.
Yeah,
not in the movie.
Henry Hill.
It's not mentioned in the movie at all.
That's how he went to
the
jail
point
the first
shaving,
time.
but it was a major part of Henry Hill's life, and
Oh
they would
my
sit
God.
and give the evil eye to a kid while he's shooting.
Oh my
Wow.
God, that's horrible.
He's from my hometown.
I know, yeah,
Henry
that's
Hill,
right, he is,
Rockville
right?
Center. Yeah.
He is.
Yep.
And Ray Liotta's from mine. That's weird. Ray Liotta's from Union.
Poor Ray Liotta, man. Like, you do something great, and people will keep making you do it until it becomes like nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was too good.
He was too good.
Well, now he's got that
He's a
show
whack
that's
job.
successful apparently with Jennifer Lopez on NBC.
I'd rather see
Yeah,
him in
we can all name it. It's real successful.
Shades of Blue.
I'd rather
right?
see him and a John Amos in a kind of skin problem, kind of James Wood. Throw him in there.
Wait a minute. Is Ray Liotta really on a sitcom right now?
No, an hour-long drama.
Like oh, okay.
With Jennifer Lopez.
That's my dream team. John Amos.
and Drea Mateo. Or
How about John Amos and Andy? Would they go for that?
With a Jamie Woods, throw him in there.
Hello there, Florida. Now let me tell you something, Dynamite.
How come you guys don't hook up with any of these female gamblers? Like, I would like to see you guys hook up with some nice female gamblers.
There are
Like
none.
Diamond Jane Brady.
You know, like a nice Flo or somebody else.
Yeah, they exist. Like in the movie Marissa Tomei.
Girls are smarter.
Artie, can we smoke in here or no?
Absolutely. You kidding me? You can barbecue a chicken.
Girls
Already told me about
girls that gamble, they gamble for a period of time. They lose money. They get nervous when the bookie comes, and then they stop.
No.
It's really annoying.
Well, they fucking.
Well, there's a lot of women that fucking.
No, but they like
lost
the
everything.
tables. They like to play poker. They like to do all that.
Oh, that's
stuff,
different.
Any chick who dates me is floating on the edge of a broken rib every third night. That's real gambling.
She's laying in bed and you're up going through her purse. What can I tell you? The Cavaliers. Honey, come back to bed.
Why would you put Klonopin in the Adderall bottle?
Artie, you told me the best game, the most exciting one.
Which one?
It's called Lightning, right?
Oh my God! Yeah.
Well, tell them what it is.
Norm,
It's
Norm. No, I introduced Norm to that. I'm sorry.
Is that with the brackets?
You got to hear this one. Like
The brackets.
No,
That's called the NCAA tournament.
All I know is when the president gets involved. It's
Yeah.
Well,
Listen
here's
how
my
exciting-
bracket. This is literally crack
how
cocaine.
exciting this is.
This is crack cocaine for gambling. And Dave, you know Lightning, right?
Yeah,
I think
I've heard of it.
Say the under over has. Say you want to bet the under over in a basketball game, and say the number's 180. So every point, if you get over 180, you win the over. And it's the only type of bet where, if you just bet the over, you could technically in the middle of the third quarter of a football or basketball game win your bet, and there's no way you could lose because they can't take points. In other words, you're done. It's easy. So the way to avoid that boredom, because who wants just the free money?
Yeah, who wants a safe bet?
It's a little something we call Lightning Bet. And that was invented by a guy currently doing 3 to 5 in Rolling.
Artie, our place used to call it action points.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you do James Mason giving that bet?
We used to call it action points.
My bookie was James Mason. No, so okay. So
I know what you said.
Lightning Bet is every point the basketball game goes over 180.
Yeah.
You get whatever amount of money you bet. So in other words, Norm and I would bet $1,000. So if you hit the 180, say go into overtime at 180. In overtime, every basket scored, you're up $2,000.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Every basket scored. Every basket, if you go under,
Yeah, that's the.
you're down with the VIG $2,200.
That's the however part.
I lightning bet the lowest. I lightning bet the over. For the lowest scoring basketball game in the history of the NBA Finals. Norm won $120,000 that week. I picked it up from the bookie. I walked it to Saturday Night Live in a fucking Barney's shopping bag.
Wow.
I peeled off $8,000 that I had lost that weekend on other stuff. Or it didn't even make a dent in the money.
Wow.
And Norm looked at the 100 that I go, you're not even a little bit excited, are you? He goes, just take it back.
Wow.
Just take it back to the guy.
He was more excited about the Bob Dole character he was going to do later that night. The run through was a little stale, but
You know what, Norm? Let's do a good thing. Let's pay for the Finkelstein bar mitzvah instead. He lost all that money within 2 days. It was gone.
$100,000.
But $120,000.
That's
wow.
funny.
And I lost a total of $82,000 on the lowest scoring.
Wow.
There was the Utah Jazz and your fucking Chicago Bulls.
Was that year that they won the whole thing?
Yeah, that year.
When he had the flu, you were positive. There's no way he's got the flu.
You mean every year? Yeah, no. One of the 6 years he won in the 90s.
Wow.
Oh, fuck.
The defense, because people forgot Jordan's defense. It was lights out. If Jordan was on guys, they didn't exist.
So how did you feel losing that money? That's because everyone always talks about winning. How about losing?
I feel like a winner. No, I don't know. Terrible. It's
Yeah,
like,
you wanna
again,
die.
it's pain. You go pain. The pain thing is a pain.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
But then, but then you get up and you realize it's another day at Caesars.
It's true. It's the worst. You're absolutely right.
It's
On
another day in heaven at Trump Plaza.
On Sundays when you lose and you're like, I'm screwed and I got to figure out how to do it. And then Monday when your account replenishes, you're like, but I got a good feeling.
Well, no, you realize, wait a minute, I remember the commercial. There's always the brunch.
Can I stop this talk? What a lovely racist ashtray here, a sombrero.
Guess who gave it to me? A Mexican.
Oh, did he?
My fucking cleaning woman.
Get the fuck out of this country. That's what I think.
I said to my cleaning woman, hey, he's going to make a little door for good people.
A little door.
A little door.
Yeah.
He actually said that.
Will
I'm going to
there
make
be-
a little door for the good people. I said out loud, true story, I wish this was a lie, but I'm going to be honest on my podcast. You know how when you have your headset on, you're listening to Evidence Front by the Who too loud, and you say something that you think is whisper, but it's really loud because you're listening. I saw these two black ladies and their kids that were being very loud and obnoxious right in front of me, and I thought I was whispering, and I said, I hope those are cleaning ladies.
Ouch.
And then they put their heads toward me, and I started pretending it was like part of a song I was singing. Cleaning ladies. It's a cleaning lady front. It's a cleaning lady front to the cleaning. I hope those are cleaning ladies.
Speaking of,
I can't wait to bomb in front of millennials with that one.
Oh yeah, I can already feel that outrage, that silent outrage. That's what I call them now.
my setup now is here's a joke you'll hate.
That's what I call them now. Silent outrage.
I hope you guys aren't in your safe place right now.
All right. Oh god.
Motherfuckers. Where's your safe place? You cut to them commuting on the fucking 7 train to work.
Yeah, you know, when you go to like these towns like Kentucky, like when you go there, like there's no like political correctness is really not hit yet. You know?
Right.
It's just, like,
Kentucky.
there's no PC coal mine. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I love that whole thing now where people think political correctness is just they don't let you be racist.
Yeah.
You know, they think, hey, they won't let me say racist stuff. Well, yeah, that was always racist. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about edgy, serious comedy.
No, they like it filthy down there.
Yeah,
But
we're talking about the Sklar brothers not being able to talk freely. The day the Sklar brothers can't talk openly about free trade. We're looking for smart bits about NAFTA. 5-page monologue at Largo about fucking the free trade agreement. Guys, so basically, my secret guest tonight, I have a surprise guest, is Jay Kamau Bell.
Oh. God, I hate that guy.
He's going to talk about, for 7 years, he searched for the last Klan meeting. I love how he thinks he's in danger. Like he's the worst. Yeah, we all agree with you. We covered this 60 years ago.
Have you ever been to Oakland? Have you ever been to Oakland, California?
Yes, absolutely.
That's a great careful what you say town. You know.
Well, really, you think that? I mean, well,
no. Everyone there is also outraged all the time. You know.
Yeah, because the liberal Berkeley thing. You mean students, or you?
No, there's just like that heavy duty Panther history. You know what I'm talking about? Like the Panthers.
Oh, Black Panther. Absolutely.
Yeah, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I remember when we was doing the Insomniac show, like we went out to Oakland, and we were almost like there was like a scene, and I am not overplaying it. It was almost like a scene out of like Black Hawk Down, where it was me and the cameraman surrounded.
Black Panther Down.
Like you could almost see people jumping on a helicopter blade, of joy, just like
Willem Dafoe.
Like we're gonna, like whatever. Just tell my mom I love her. I don't know if I'm gonna make it out of here.
Huey Newton was a Black Panther. Cam Newton is, of course, a Pink Panther.
I guess that's the end of the show.
Is that it?
Artie just walked off the set.
Russ, you're the new host. What's happening here?
All right, welcome to the podcast. Where's he going? Oh, all right. Usually people say they have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. I didn't know Black Panther was a code for I got to go to the bathroom.
Sometimes he does it right there in the trash.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
I actually believe you.
That's great.
Are we still on the air?
Yes, we are.
Oh, we are?
You know what?
Is this like a new format?
And
no
this
host?
is a good time for me to confront Dave with something.
Me? Oh.
You said off the air, you weasel, that you would have gone to see Woody Woodbury had you been in the same position that I had. And Artie does not believe me.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember anything
you
like
weasel.
that. We don't have any footage of that.
They were ripping me for going to see Woody Woodbury when I was a kid.
It's probably no. You're probably right because I would have been excited about seeing a stand-up comedian,
Yes,
so I
thank
probably
you.
would have gone. Yeah,
You weasel.
And then I would have been like, "What's with this guy?" But then I would have been excited that he was talking to me. Like you're probably right. I mean, I just, it was just too easy to say you were gay or whatever.
Well, it's good to see that. Oh, he's back. Oh, sorry. we were gonna plan a surprise party while you were.
Don't worry, Artie. I was doing my James Mason the entire time.
We're gonna get Daryl Strawberry to come in, right? Deliver a pizza because that's what he does now.
Real bullets.
First of all, that was my self-confidence break. I was in there going, you could do a good James Mason too.
No way.
The Twitter's wrong. Dave isn't as good a guest as him. Dave wouldn't be a better. Artie's black liver is wrong.
This is
Dave couldn't be as good a host
How
as you.
dare you speak to me like that? I've had just about enough.
You want to hear my Anthony Mason?
How about a Marsha Mason? Break it up.
I knew it. I said he's going to trump me. I knew it.
What's your best impression?
Hear him, Anthony Mason, make a shot. When it counts.
Jessica, what's your best impression? What do you got? What's your best?
Horseshack.
I think my best one. I think the best one is Dangerfield.
Yes. Yes. Let's hear it.
Give us a little of that.
I'll tell you, it ain't easy. Sometimes, when I'm under the gun, I get I don't know. I can't.
No, do the thing that
Wait,
you
are you doing Rodney Danger, right?
No, do the.
Do you know a guy named Ed Dangerfield?
Do the thing where like you do him talking to the you're gonna bring me out.
Right. All right. Now what
explain it what it is.
Dave is coaching him in the Danger.
No. I know what he's talking about. There's a thing on YouTube where Dangerfield is talking to the band. Have you heard that, Artie?
Wait, you love it. You love it.
He's explaining to the band his cues.
Wait a minute. The band with who? Like
with him?
With Robbie Roberts in the band, or just a regular band?
No, a regular show. Like he'd be performing at the Garden State Art Center or something. He had a band.
Well, you're up on Cripple Creek. We get it.
And then there's this thing, and he's real serious about it. He goes, "Okay, after I do, she's a double bagger. I want you to come out." But he's so serious about it. It's not funny, but it's funny at the same time.
Trying to get it through to them.
And he's just doing his last lines. Now, when I come out, I'm going to say, "How you doing?" And then I want to do the cymbal just hit the correct way. That's right. That no one else can hit it the right way. And he's not saying anything funny. It goes on for like 5 minutes.
Sounds like he's being hilarious.
I know, but it's like
30 seconds. He's funnier than I've ever been on stage.
He was also not only the ultimate punchline machine, but just like a great sweater. Like, I remember watching him, and I'm like, look at him sweating. I'm like, why can't they help him? And then I realized it's that weird kind of like, cold sweat.
He was doing the thing with it was a reason to use the hanky. He goes, I use something with my hands. It's a good physical life.
But he really was sweating, wasn't he?
I think he was dying.
No,
I do a lot of cocaine.
Norm has that great story. At the Aspen Comedy Festival, he had to go to the special oxygen hut. And he said to the woman, who else has been here? He said, it's just you and Rodney Davis.
Really?
He actually told a story at Saturday Night Live. Okay, Pearl Jam and Rodney Dangerfield. He was the host. They were the band, and he's napping, and they're doing a full song for rehearsal, and they wake Rodney Dangerfield up, and he comes out. He screams at Eddie Vedder like, "Jeremy!" He goes, "Hey guys, you're a band. We get it. All right." You're a band.
I could see him wearing like a half a tuxedo, no pants.
Yeah.
Come on.
Absolutely.
You're a band. We get it.
I don't want to
old guy thing to say.
The most self-pretentious guy ever.
Yeah.
We get it. It's about
Get off the amp.
It's about kid suicide.
I saw him once at Catch a Rising Star. I was waiting to go on, and he came on. It was very exciting.
Eddie Vedder?
And he was so drunk. No, he was so loaded. And I guess you've probably seen him that way, right? Because a lot of people have seen when they see Rodney.
I think the entire Caddyshack film. I think.
Right. Well, so people, he had no material. He was just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. Let me ask some questions from the audience. And then somebody has a really good question. He goes, why didn't you do Caddyshack 2? All right, not that question. What else?
Not that question.
Yeah, not that question. Well, that was a good question. It was a nice.
We had an amazing fucking phony phone call that we couldn't play on the air because Howard thought it was libelous. This DJ in Kansas doesn't even do a good impression, but Rodney totally falls for it. He calls Rodney Dangerfield. He gets his home number as Louis Anderson, and Rodney totally falls for it. He says to him, "Hey, Rodney, it's Louis. I'm in Las Vegas and I'm really drunk and I'm depressed." And it's so touching because Rodney is trying to help me. He goes, "Listen, Louis, get out of there. You don't want to be in Vegas like that. You don't want to be drunk. It's terrible. It's too depressing. I've been the same way. Get the hell out of there. Who cares? I'll make a phone call. I'll call the promoter. Get out of there." And then the guy in Kansas is kind of flustered. He just goes right to like some bit that he wanted to get to. He goes, "And then I was on the plane, Rodney, and the stewardess hit on me." And there's a pause, and Rodney goes, "Well, she's barking up the wrong tree there." Howard wouldn't play because I guess it means he's gay. But I mean, who got like going to get sued?
Well, when did he come out? When did he come out?
Who?
Like recently.
Louis Anderson?
On the show Baskets. He plays
came out?
a woman. He plays Zach's mother.
You know, it's a terrible fat joke, but he's been trying to get out of the closet for 30 years. In all fairness.
It's amazing in Coming to America.
I have that tape if you want to hear it. The Dangerfield.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I found it.
A Dangerfield what?
Him talking to the band. I hope this.
Oh, you have that?
Oh, great. Let's hear it.
This is awesome.
This is fantastic.
This is going to be so
Hi,
anticlimactic.
This is Rodney. After video was shown, 3.5 minutes, there was a drum roll. On drum roll, I'm off stage. I will say line, I tell you, I don't get no respect at all.
Wait a
Immediately,
minute. Stop
drummer
for 1 second.
stops
This is really him.
Yeah, that's what
He's
I'm
not
saying.
reading off something.
No.
Yeah, it sounds like
He's telling the band what to do. It's amazing. I told you, it's not funny, and it is
It sounds
funny.
like an instructional tape.
reading. Yeah, it does sound like that.
Hello, this is Rodney.
Go ahead.
Roll, and band picks up music, letter A, while I make my entrance. Band plays till I give you a direct cutoff.
He's
The
reading.
music is
He's
always
reading
played
it.
loud, fast, and high energy, like this.
Dave, admit you exaggerated.
If let's say he's reading, but why
Did he have a tape of a band?
Then why put the tape in? Then why make a tape if he had it on paper?
Didn't he have a manager? Can he do this?
Dan, admit you wanted to show Dave up as being wrong with him.
What? But I was right.
No, he was totally right.
I'm still
You were
upset about
right.
the Woody Woodbury thing.
It looked like he was trying to
best
clear
story.
his material for like Comedy Central's half hour. Now, I'm going to come out.
He's talking to a segment producer at Letterman.
And then I say, hey, I don't get no respect. Not that way. It'll be funny. You come in with a drum roll.
Imagine a guy like me not getting respect. I'm gonna paint the comedic picture for him.
Wait, I'm gonna say something like I don't get respect, but I'll put it in a different way, like he's still working
Then
on
I'm
the
going.
joke, right?
Then I'm going to be surprised by a colored fella in the front row. I know him. His name's Earl. He's fine. Don't worry. I put a Chinaman will come out.
I know him.
This guy's worked with Rickles for 35 years. He's the best in the business. He's the best Chinaman out there.
In the 50s, Rickles would call him a nigger.
He's another guy with a lot of cues. You know, I come out.
The most disappointing thing is Rickles' Vegas act because everything that's great about it's great, and when you first
He's
see it,
90
because
years
it's
old.
him.
Yeah.
I'm saying even like because he's been doing it for 70 years, the same act.
Yeah.
You think you'd update the Newhart bit? I mean, what happened when you left Milan in 1972? But he. Because the whole thing that's great about him is the freewheeling whatever the fuck on Carson. Yeah. There's some of those stuff. YouTubing him on Carson has gotten me through plane rides. Lou Brock, the black baseball player for the Cardinals, is the first guest. And he's out there. First of all, Lou Brock's bumping him at the Tonight Show. He must have just broke the record. And every once in a while, Rickles would get a joke with Johnny Carson that would bomb, and he would look at Lou Brock, who was not laughing, and just go, "You're aggravating me, Lou." And he would hit him in the head, like Lou Brock would laugh like, ha, ha, ha. Or like, every time he bombed.
The black guy gets it.
Ed's drunk.
Yeah.
The racist jokes that made no sense, he said one time, he goes, "Lou, there was a black guy at the club. He just went, we played tennis."
Yeah.
Do you remember when? It's the famous one where he goes to the CPO Sharky set.
Yes.
Oh, that's the best.
And then Johnny tries to
broke
be
the thing on
racist,
his
and it's
desk.
like so racist, like he's talking to that one actor.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
tries to be
"Hey, boy."
racist.
Well, yeah, because he's trying to be like Rickles, but
He's doing
it's
him.
Really yeah, but he goes, "Hey, go back to the cotton fields, boy," and the black guy's laughing because he's embarrassed.
Yeah.
It's
Nervously.
they stopped airing it. I think. Well, now they stopped airing it on television, but I
when
think
people
it's still
started to
find it on
become
YouTube.
uptight shitheads.
No, he was making fun of Skolnick. I remember he was one of the big characters. That was the Jewish guy. And the Jewish guy's like, and the black guy's like, and the Jewish.
He just.
How about the guy? How about the guy in the cast of CPO Sharky that was just there for toll jokes? The guy was 8'1". Pruitt, why don't you make out with a giraffe? Every joke, he was there to enter, look disappointed after he makes a toll joke, and leave the screen. That's all he did.
Remember they tried again with Fox. They tried to. Wasn't it him and Richard Lewis?
Yeah, that worked.
And then
Hiller and Diller.
No, it wasn't that one. But they had again where he was doing the thing and he was in a therapy session. And he goes, "And how about this guy, the Mexican guy?" And they just cut to the guy's like, "What?"
How about this guy, the Mexican?
It was like 5 episodes.
Yeah, the Mexican guy. Well, George Carlin did the thing where he played a cab driver, and the whole cast was a different ethnicity.
I remember that.
So because he could do jokes about it.
That was on Fox too, right?
He went back to the hippy dippy weatherman guy.
Oh my God!
What about Billy Crystal and his his show with that boy.
Josh Gad.
Yeah.
Oh, that didn't work at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'll tell you, I hope Josh Gad's cost me a lot of work. Yeah, comedians.
That was it.
Unwatchable.
But it was like we got all the writers from every Law and Order to write a comment. It was like one of those weird. Like I looked at the thing. I was like, I've never heard of any of these people.
Did you see Dick Wolf's new sitcom script? I know, really, it was so like, and a lot of work too, because it was like a one camera thing. They were probably there for 30 hours a day, and they're doing full blown sketches as part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, terrible.
But I liked Mr. Saturday. What was his movie?
Mr. Saturday.
Yeah, that was good.
The guy's a talented.
Yeah, he's
motherfucker.
super talented.
He's like.
Well, that movie wasn't as good as we wanted it to be.
It wasn't dirty enough. That was the problem. It was like
so?
it was too
too sappy.
Yeah,
well,
too
remember when they
family.
showed the coming attraction? They showed him in like an F Troop sketch or something like
Yes.
that, and that wasn't in the movie.
That's the most awkward Stuttering John interview ever when he goes, well, there'll be a Mr. Saturday Night too. and it takes John so long to get Saturday. Well, there'll be a Mr. Sir, in front of Tavern on the Green. Mr. Saturday Night. Saturday too.
Okay, so you can take this back to Howard.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, he's hilarious.
Oh no, but that's
Shove it up his ass.
We found out. Oh,
because Howard shits on me.
Oh, that's right, because there was
not
another
fun.
guy
It's not
that.
funny, it's not
no, but
fun.
it wasn't Billy Crystal that did the not funny. They found out.
Well, no, it was him.
recently.
Billy Crystal, a
it
guy
was-
imitated him.
There was a guy imitating
No,
Billy Crystal.
Billy
did
Crystal
that.
really said it first, though.
Yeah, and then he became
Did
that
he say
cat.
not fun, not funny first? Because I think it was
No,
revealed
he said it
recently
first.
that he didn't say
You're
that
talking
part.
to a guy who heard it every morning
All
for
right,
7 years.
all right,
I'm just
guys.
saying, it
Let's
was
move on.
revealed.
He
Moving
You
on.
think the guy improvised that line? He was imitating.
I
the
don't know.
line
I
he said.
think you could look it up. I think you'll find that might be.
Listen, we're cutting out the James Mason.
No, please don't.
It's going to cost you work on the new sketch show on UPN.
Perhaps a libation.
UPN.
A libation.
It's the new UPN sketch show.
Lolita, darling.
The only person on UPN would be Bonnie McFarlane. Who's the right person.
Jesus Christ. We talk about Kubrick, by the way, at his finest. That Lolita with James.
Oh, that was great.
It's so fucking funny when he's watching her do jumping jacks, and Shirley, what's her face?
So Shirley Winters.
Shirley Winters.
Shirley Winters, right.
You never look at me like that.
Well, that's because you're a big fat pig.
Again, the remakes in Hollywood. They remake The Heartbreak Kid, and they tear all the shit that's funny. The mean, evil thing of how he hates how ugly his wife is. They tear all of that out. They just make her annoying, not ugly.
Right, that's
Like the mean
and that's
streak that makes the movie.
Amick, that really pretty blonde girl, right?
Yeah, she's the one he hates because she's annoying, not ugly.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole movie was made because he's mean.
But the remake of Lolita was Jeremy Irons.
I like
my
that
favorite.
one.
I love that
Was
guy.
that good?
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Everything he does.
You want that?
He's a great like that guy. You know, he just plays that guy.
I liked that version actually. That Dominic Swain was in it. But if you ever look at the there's footage of how she auditioned and they had to make out and she was like 13 and they're like, well, how was that? And then, like, it's really awkward.
How was that?
She wasn't. They were like supposedly like just like 18, and they made him look.
No, she was.
Well, I
13,
hope so.
really, because they.
No,
didn't
she
do- She
wasn't.
was 15, and when they did it,
She
I
couldn't
think.
have really been 13.
I'm pretty sure. They have the behind the
one?
scenes like footage where it's really
With James
awkward.
Mason.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
She was.
I mean,
younger
that's
than-
not legal. They couldn't do that.
I know that's why it was so weird. I don't think you could find it anywhere else.
Well, you
it's probably
found
on
it.
YouTube.
You
That's
found
like
a-
one of those awkward, like when Shirley Temple dances with like the black guy. Like I always find that a little awkward. I'm like, isn't there some kind of what's going on here?
Well, he's so happy.
Mr. Bojangles, you mean?
You know, like when they yell cut, they immediately like put a fire hose on him and like pull her out. Like, get her out of there! Get her out of there!
Arrest Mr. Bojangles.
Fire hose.
Trample him up,
Like
trample him up on a beef.
They send in a southern sheriff. What was that all about?
Yes, I
It's in the movie. Oh, is it?
I understand you're a big actor up there in Los Angeles.
They put a fire hose on.
Down here in Dade County, Florida, you
Yeah.
make out with a white
We
girl.
don't hold with that. We don't hold with that now.
Understand, Mr. Gooden, you're a big pitcher in New York City.
She was 16 when they made the movie.
Yeah, come on.
Well, but the audition tape, I guess she was 15. That's what
Really?
I said. So, right? Yeah. And they're really it's with the director, the guy I think he did Fatal Attraction, maybe. And they're sitting, the three of them. So it's the two old guys and her, just in the room.
Weird.
And it's really weird. He goes, "Try the scene again," and he's like, "All right," whatever. But it's really awkward.
Why did Roman Polanski his defense should have been I was auditioning that girl?
Well, that's what I keep thinking of. That's how that happened, right? Isn't that how that went
Roman
down?
Polanski gave her Quaaludes and fucked her in the ass.
Right. So that could have happened, but they had a camera rolling in that particular case.
I love how people try to defend Roman Polanski.
Was that during the
Jeremy Piven? You don't understand art. Yeah.
Well, that girl's been trying to forgive him for can we just get off of that and let him come back into the country? I don't care anymore.
Her and the mother.
You've ruined my life.
Right, weird reactions.
Meanwhile, his wife, the one that was killed in the Manson, whatever, that chick is like classically hot. Like they keep finding new pictures of her, like how hot she is, just beyond hot,
unbelievably hot.
Yeah.
You know what's a great read? It'll take you like an afternoon on the road. Is Rick James's biography, and I had to get it. I read excerpts in the Daily News. I had to get the book. There's stories that will knock you on your fucking ass. He was supposed to be at the Sharon Tate house the night.
Oh really? God.
And Stephen Stills and Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young were touring. It might have been Buffalo Springfield. They're touring the country. They go through Buffalo, and Rick James is a fucking 15-year-old kid playing as a jazz drummer. They needed a drummer, and he plays a concert with them on the drums. And he's unbelievably talented. It's like a protege. And prodigy, whatever you call it. And he says, you want to just blow town and come on the road with us? And that's how Rick James gets out to Hollywood. And he's staying with Stephen Stills. And one day he wakes up on the couch at like 4 a.m. There's a guy in front of him cutting his wrist, and it's bleeding onto a Bible. And he's talking like in tongues. He runs and wakes up Stephen Stills. And it's like, so is he doing it again? He walks out. It's fucking Jim Morrison. That's how he met Jim Morrison.
Oh, wow.
So he was dating this chick who knew J.C. Bring, the hairdresser guy who also got killed that night.
Yeah.
And they got invited to that party. And they would have went, and they were too hungover. Now, I don't know what Rick James has to do to get hungover, but he was too hungover to go to the party, so they didn't go. And I think, like, what if he was there? Like, history might have been real. Rick James could have fought them off. You know, how would history have changed if Rick James was at that super freak? Was
He
at the
would have
party?
said, "Oh hell no!"
Yeah, I think you're thinking of Dolomite. Kapow! Kablam! How great a setup am I bringing up that chick and then you knowing everything about the Helter Skelter murder?
Well,
how great is that?
I'm sorry for getting into my country's history.
That's and wait, there's Leslie Van Houten who's
tries to get out every year.
I like have a crush on that chick. Like, have you ever seen pictures of her when she was like
she was hot.
before the swastika on the head? She was great.
Like, first of all, where do you get those chicks with the perfect creepy names? Leslie Van Houten, Penny Van Crinkle, Penny Van Crinkle,
Squeaky Frome,
Squeaky Frome. Where do you find these bros? Squeaky Frome, by the way, shoots President Ford. She gets out for a day and shoots the president.
She's out now. You could probably get her on the podcast. I think that would be great.
Dan,
She's
get on
out?
there.
No.
Hello, Squeaky. It's Dan Flatto.
That would be a great third guest.
Listen, Squeaky. It's Dan.
Keenan Peele and Squeaky Frome from the 1974 assassination attempt on.
We spoke yesterday. Yeah. Squeaky, Artie's a big fan. Squeaky.
She's not really out.
She's out of jail, yeah.
But how can that be? How do you shoot at the president and ever get out of jail?
No, she did like 25 years or something.
Oh, right. It's Ford, sorry.
No, also, here's the thing.
That's the answer.
These guys, those girls try to get out every year. Like, every time they're up for
the
parole.
massive
So the families are forced to go. Like, what is their defense? Like, look, I know my client tore open your mother's stomach and wrote "pig" in blood on the wall. But can we give her another shot?
Yeah. I mean, that's the scariest thing I've ever seen when those girls come in singing when they go to jail.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. It's like a
Have you
scary
seen
movie.
1969?
Have you seen Best Time Ever with Neil Patrick Harris?
Fortunately, it just got
Fantastic.
canceled.
That's fucking great.
Best time ever. Neil, listen, I'm not thinking you're the best. Neil, the one, Neil, you're on a pogo stick with three guys who look like, Bell Biv DeVoe. I'm going with the Tommy Lee, Pam Anderson yacht tape is my best time.
He's another guy who has one acting style. Awesome. Just all the time. I'm awesome.
Guess
Look
what?
at me.
Another movie where I'm not gay. I fucking maybe you're gay. He's taking all these like this generation's James Caan, for Christ's sake.
Boy, James Caan now, like, you remember, like, the picture of him without his shirt on, like that hairy craziness, that hairy now that would be a hate crime. Like, looking at all that,
He
like,
would still,
hair.
James Caan would still get laid somehow.
Oh, God, yeah.
He's
another guy, like a non-acting actor. Like, he's the same guy in every movie. Like,
But
what
he's-
am I now?
And he's great in it. He's always, you're right, he's always Sonny Corleone.
I'm the first son of a mafia don. All right, now I'm a bail bondsman.
I'm playing Sonny Corleone and Mickey Blue Eyes now.
Oh, yeah.
He's
so hairy in that.
He's got the
white
record,
Peter.
by the way. Supposedly, he fucked 18 months in a row at the 18 playmates in a row each month.
Wow.
August of I think 74 to like November.
He
of
beat out
75.
Scott Baio.
Well, I think he still holds the record. I think 18 months in a row he fucked.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's hot.
You watch those Playboy from the 70s. My uncle used to have in the back
Barbie Benton.
pictures from the parties. It's always
that is
James
great.
Caan and Will Chamberlain in like pink fur coats.
Wow.
They're trying to sell the Playboy Mansion.
Are they?
now. Yeah.
Good.
I
It's
got
full
blown
of
in the
AIDS.
grotto for $500.
You did?
Yeah, I had me and Sarah did stand up at the fucking Playboy Mansion, a benefit, and she went on before me, destroyed, and then left. I get up there, it's the owner of the fucking Lakers, Jerry Buss, talking to 4 smoking fucking Playmate chicks, and no one's listening to me. Not a person. I got 10 G's if I did 20 minutes. No one was listening to me, and at 14 minutes, I said, I just got to get to 20 minutes to get my check. I sang the entire song American Trilogy by Elvis Presley. Oh, I wish I was in the land of cotton. Nobody cared. I did 20 minutes. I timed it. I got off stage, and a busload of yellow short buses, literally with whores, like Compton, like whores from Compton who had tattoos of their dead brother on their neck, like
Wow.
those type of chicks. And I said, we're at the grotto. I'll never be back again. I said I started asking how much for a blowjob. They were clearly hookers, and I found the cutest one. She said $500. I gave her $500, and I got a blowjob.
This is at the mansion?
Yeah, at the
I'm
Playboy.
surprised this wasn't all
exactly
free.
where James Caan was.
Did
they were all like the hottest chick.
Yeah,
I
why?
found.
Why did they need? I mean, seriously, if Russ said why, you would think it would be free. Like at the why would there hookers?
You would think.
Oh.
It wasn't. They were all whores.
Did Hef come over and talk you soft? I have a feeling like he's a master, like, cock block.
Well, no, it was like he wasn't even there. Like it was a charity event in the fucking backyard, and we were just again. Sarah smoked a joint with Teddy, my fucking road manager. Was supposed to get me a new pair of pants that ripped. He was disappeared. She's getting high by the monkey cage with Sarah. She leaves with her money. I'm known as bombing. They go, geez, Art, we expected more. And so I said, I'm getting a blowjob. I got a blowjob probably where James Caan got blown. It cost me $500.
I know, but that's worth it, though.
Yeah, that's good.
His was Angie Dickinson. Mine was like,
Now, if Rodney was there, he'd say, after the blowjob, I want you to hit the bad.
What if James Mason were blowing anymore?
I'd say $500 is way too expensive.
It's a suck, spit.
What's he trying to get?
But first a libation.
I roasted Hugh Hefner, and I went to the after party. We all lined up to say thank you for performing. I said, Mr. Hefner, it was a pleasure to perform for you. He shook my hand and said, I'm tripping.
He did?
That's all he said.
Some life, I guess.
I get some life.
Jeez.
And I fucking watched one of those 7 girlfriends go in the fucking men's room with a William Morris agent, whose name shall be fucking nameless here.
Wow.
And blow. I knew he fucked her, blew it. She blew him or something. I'm like, you guys have such a future. He's right here. I mean, can we show some respect? This is not the best time ever with Neil Patrick Harris. So anyway, yeah. So anybody else can say that, I guess? They paid for
that's
a whole-
way cool.
Thanks,
That's great.
guys.
Hey, can I?
Pathetic. Paid $500.
So,
He made $10,000 that night. Why not?
Yeah,
barely.
Give a little back to the house.
a little something for the effort.
Jerry Buss literally was talking to 5 chicks in front of the owner of the Lakers, like what's he gonna listen to me? Yeah, hey, anybody have a DVR thing? So I don't know. I mean, how do you guys feel tonight went? I mean,
tonight? I thought it went great.
this is actually, I mean, I don't know if you saw how Twitter blew up last time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
Did you see? You probably jumped a good 8 to 9 followers.
Wow.
Does anybody here care about, like David? You care about the Twitter thing? Do you have people, representatives who give you shit about?
Let me
social
tell you
media?
something. If there was a way for me to just bury myself on the ground and never have to deal with that again, I would go for it in a second.
Well, I know. I
hate it.
I got to tell you,
it frightens me, and I hate it.
I tell people all the time, if I wasn't a comedian, I wouldn't be anywhere near it. I don't understand.
Well, that's
people-
what's happening.
Yeah,
I mean,
right?
the majority of the country does not deal with Twitter.
They don't.
No.
Right.
No.
But how do they? So what's? So who does?
It's
How
all
does it?
showbiz and news people. That do it.
News people.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
And sports.
Yeah, like I mean, Kim Kardashian, I think 40 million Twitter.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
when
she
you
has nothing to say.
That's when you make money off it. That's when
I thought you don't make any money off of it, huh?
Well, I mean, promoting stuff, I guess.
Oh, okay. Speaking of which, I'll be at the Providence Comedy Connection.
Well, that's what I was trying to lead you into.
Oh, good. Okay, sorry.
So, hello, Mr. Byron Allen.
Because your fans are good fans. And
I
want
told
them
you
to come
that.
see me.
I have to repeat this in case you didn't hear the Byron Allen thing.
Yeah.
About how he sets people up for a bit. And he said to John Lovitz, John, I hear you're getting older.
I'll be him.
True story.
So, Artie, I hear you got a blowjob in the grotto. What's that like? What's that like?
Listen, Byron.
What's that about?
Listen, Byron. I just want... Shang, are you done? Okay.
Yeah, it is a lot of So, Kool-Aid, what is up with...
Now, he said... Norm's thing was like that. I was on that show, Comics Unleashed. I never felt so leashed.
Excellent point. Ant, what do you think?
Ant. Yeah, I know. He does fucking 80-year-old boxing jokes.
Well, that's where you see people the comics that we always wonder what happened to, like from the 80s that we started with, and they happen to, still be on that show.
No, I haven't been on it yet.
But then you don't know. But then you don't know what year it's from. I'm always looking for what year it's from, because it could be from, early 2000, and I'm like, I didn't know they were still alive.
No, but he is the executive producer. He likes it evergreen. He likes it to keep it that's why it's always all those things like, so you don't like driving. And then,
right, so you never know, right.
Yeah.
On tonight's show, Robert Schimmel, Mitch Hedberg.
Well, the worst part, I think I saw one where it was horrible comics, and then I saw somebody, one of the guys.
I saw one with horrible comics.
Well, they were horrible, and then there was somebody really good on it, and I'm like, why is this person? It's embarrassing for the one person that's excellent.
Well.
I don't remember who it was. I know I've seen Norm on it before. I was like, why would he even do that?
No, they should have one guy on it who's not.
Was
a
it
comic.
Dennis Miller? He was on one about 3 weeks ago, and it was 3 other horrible comedians, and Dennis Miller was the other
Why
one.
would somebody like that agree to do that show?
You know,
Do they get
Norm
paid a lot?
and Dennis Miller in particular, really, they do come from that generation of that 80s, they did everything type of comic,
Make me laugh.
Yeah, right, shit like that. Or,
yeah,
the last, like Leno with the sport jacket rolled up to the elbows.
Right.
You think, I got a show, I do more crowd work.
You ever see him on
I'm not going to give up my act.
You ever see him on that One Day at a Time episode?
Who?
Leno.
What's he doing that? I saw him on Good Times.
Plays an unemployed guy or something, and he's just so horrible.
What's he? American Hot Wax?
Well, I don't know. I got a job.
Yes, I understand. You're dating somebody on what is it? Jane Vanderbeek?
I think Letterman's the only one that never really did any acting, right? He immediately wanted to be.
He auditioned. He was on the Mary Tyler.
Oh yeah, the
Moore
Mary Tyler Moore variety
sketch
show with
comedy
Michael
show.
Keaton.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I mean, and he could not look more not into his sketch.
Yeah.
He might be the most depressed-looking human being I've ever seen lately. I mean, that beard. He just
See him now, yeah.
I mean, what does his kid think? Looking up at like, Dad, we have $1 trillion. Can we go fishing or something?
Oh God, right.
He looks really sad. Like.
I don't know. Does he look sad or does he just not care?
I think he's relieved that he's not,
I don't think
doing his thing.
The last time I did that show, he had such contempt for everybody around him. Like the sycophants, and he just couldn't do it. He just was so detached and hatred for
He was that way for 30 years,
No,
though.
but not like, I mean, this was a level of contempt for other human beings.
Wait, hold on. Who's the other guy?
Leno?
Not Leno, because Leno has the show.
Seth
He
Meyers?
has the show, and Ferguson has his show.
Oh, he
too,
does?
The History Channel.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean.
So that's just like it's the love of the game.
They
too.
want to
They don't
stay
do
in
it for money. Yeah, they're not doing it.
What
for
does that say about Mavis's dinner conversation? Yeah, so I'm done with the 30-year gig, Mavis. I can't have dinner Tuesday. I got another internet show.
Do you think we'll hear from Letterman again? You think he would ever do anything? Or
He's the one I think he's done.
Or do you think he just is done because that's what Johnny did and he has to emulate everything Johnny did?
That's true.
Actually, I just Googled it to check that. He's on the next episode of Best Time Ever. Coming up, David Letterman. Let's reshave half his beard.
That guy who played him in the Late Shift, he was good. He should
did a lot of shit.
He
Yeah,
should host He should host the show.
He was actually great.
He was amazing in that.
Yeah.
I remember when that movie was like so important. You have to see this. Now it's like no one gives a shit.
I watch it
No
a
one
lot,
cares about any of
actually.
these
It was
shows.
very entertaining.
Nobody gives a shit.
Oh, but that's the thing,
anything.
right? Nobody
Yeah,
cares about
these
it.
shows.
Right.
You know, it's like who cares?
Even the election, like something outrageous happens and it's old news 2 days later. That's the reason Trump can't do anything outrageous enough to get kicked off, because no news story stays. It's done in a day.
No.
It doesn't mean shit.
No.
He said, Megyn Kelly, your pussy's bleeding. Next story.
She's holding up fine. She's doing great.
She looks great.
She's
a perfect looking human
She
being.
really is perfect.
There's
She looks
some
great.
shots
She's
of her.
strong. She's funny. She's interesting.
Well,
she's smart.
Did
you
you see her
She's good.
last special? Was kind of like, I mean, talk about beach balls coming in, guys. How about Martin Borsese over here? Who directed that? Francis Ford Coppola.
Are you doing Norm Crosby?
Now you're giving me shit.
No. I like
all of a
when
sudden
that happened. I saw Mike Rowe.
I'm wrong for crowbarring
Mike
an
Rowe
old
posted something like that. I
Do a
like
James Mason impression on my millennials.
No, I like when people do Norm Crosby jokes.
You do? How often does that happen?
Never. I'm just. That's why Mike Rowe is the last.
Where do you hear
person
that?
to
You
do
hang
it.
out at Norm Crosby's cousin's house?
I just like when they make those. Whatever I can't do them. That's why I guess I'm.
Who is Norm? Like, who is his fan base? Like golfers? Like Norm
No
Crosby?
The same guys who have
No, but can you do any of those kind of
what?
Like where he just.
I didn't even try. I know what you're talking.
The way he does those. What are they called? Malapropisms or something?
Yeah.
I could do more soul if I have a newspaper.
How about a Joey Bishop? Because Joey Bishop had a show of his own at one point.
He did.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, Carson trampled it. He's the famous go-to. That Carson got mad and
Because
because he was the Frank's like the smallest guy in the loop.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
Weren't
in
we
that
talking
crew.
about the last week or last time I was on about Dick Cavett? We're watching Dick Cavett shows. They're rerunning them.
Don't you do a Dick Cavett impression?
No, I don't know. But I saw one the other day with John Lennon and Shirley MacLaine.
He got the best guest.
And
Woody
they were-
Allen used to do it.
And they were talking about it. We're sorry you're not getting the ratings. He's like, well, what are you going to do? You know, like
Yeah,
they
he
were
didn't
talking about it.
care.
It was amazing.
Well, I'll tell you, it was back when nobody before Arsenio Hall with the woof woofs and everything. Two people could have like a witty conversation. It didn't have to destroy every 5 seconds.
It was amazing watching that. I've never seen it before.
That was another. That was a great Dick Cavett. Like they would sit on like folding chairs, but like the set was so like sparse. And then Arsenio, they would sit on like whatever that was, a futon.
They were leaning forward. It looked like they were doing coke.
Because I remember Dice like crying, like Arsenio, you don't understand. He's like sitting on like a.
Dice, I understand you.
He's sitting on a box.
I understand there's a different part of you.
Arsenio's on the road now. How weird is that, huh? Can you imagine? Like, like all those years
He's
after all those
horrible,
years, he's on the
isn't he?
road. No, I don't know. I'm sure he knows how to do the job.
Isn't he a horrible comedian?
My favorite moment maybe ever in television history, him and Jerry Lewis. He says to Jerry Lewis, "Listen, Mr. Lewis," and Jerry Lewis goes, "Don't call me Mr. Lewis. Would you want me to call you Mr. Hall?" And then there's a pause, and Arsenio goes, "You've earned it. I haven't." And then there's a long applause break, and Jerry Lewis goes, "I get it. Thank you." Let's stick with Mr. Lewis.
He's good. He's good. I saw him with Red. He had Red Skelton. He goes, "Thanks for paving the way, man."
Thanks for paving the way to shit comedy. My favorite ever is Ving Rhames on the Magic Johnson show, because we played it on Howard for like 8 straight days. Here's exactly, I'm doing this almost verbatim. He says to Ving Rhames, he goes, "Now you an actor." Magic Johnson goes, "You an actor. The actors play a lot of roles. That's what you do when you're an actor. You play roles. You get a good role, a bad role, and I know you play a lot of different roles. What's the one role? What's a role that you, Ving Rhames, as an actor, what's the ultimate role? What do you do? What's the role?" Because actors do roles. That's what you do. I've done some roles, but I'm not good at it. You can do a lot of roles. You, Ving Rhames, what's the one role you want to do? There's a pause, and Ving Rhames goes, "I'd like to play Jesus Christ." And then there's like a big applause. And Magic Johnson goes, "Ha ha, now that's a role." Now that's a role.
Well, the funny thing is, Ving Rhames is one of those guys. You know, he's a huge, big black guy, and then he gave his award away. He won some award, and he was like, "I want to dedicate this to Jack Lemmon, my favorite actor."
He gave it to. How odd was it? A black man giving something to an old white guy.
But did you see that? That was the most. Jack Lemmon's like
so awkward.
Fucking
Like,
weird.
who is this guy?
Jack Lemmon wanted to throw up.
Yeah, it was weird.
That was
like, what are you
so
doing?
strange.
You know?
Clearly, he's mentally ill. Like, you go, here's a guy who looks like a bouncer at Scores, and he's mentally ill.
Yeah. Jack Lemmon meant a lot to me. The Odd Couple.
Yeah. Come here, Jack, before I snap your neck in half. The Odd Couple. The Fortune Cookie.
On the
Save the Tiger.
On the set of Predator. We watched.
Save the Tiger.
It just didn't add up.
Harry and Son. That was Paul Newman. That was Paul Newman.
That was Paul Newman.
Sorry.
That was horrible.
I'm sorry.
Now that's an actor.
That
Paul Newman.
Rob Benson.
Paul
Robbie
Newman
Benson.
was a movie star, man. There's no, like,
Yes.
nobody comes close to that guy nowadays. You can't do it.
That's what made him so good in silent movie, Mel Brooks, because he was an actual movie star.
That's true.
That's a great movie, too.
Mel Brooks went on a bit of a run before he hit Life Stinks.
Oh, God.
When he went
It's
bad,
unwatchable.
when he went bad, he went bad.
I think that's when the money, like, he just like,
Right.
you know, I can't do no wrong. you know?
L.A., like Woody Allen stayed miserable in New York and went the dark route of making good movies and raping his daughter.
But you got to feel so bad for Mel. Because like Mel's like, I'm going to put me in the movie.
Right.
I mean, everyone knows me now. So I'm gonna be, and then it's a total bomb.
The blatant, like, offensive racist stuff in Blazing Saddles is so fucking funny.
Yeah.
When that guy, Dave Huddleston, gets up and goes, all right, we'll give some land to the niggers and the chinks, but we don't want the Irish. Fiddlesticks, everybody. So fucking funny. Slim
And
Pickens.
Harvey Korman, who I also think is
Unbelievable.
A great, like,
Oh, he was amazing.
you know, on Cal Burnett, like he supposedly was like this serious actor, like he
Right.
never got like what they was like. This is ridiculous,
Yeah.
you know. But there's no better like straight man than that guy.
Unbelievable.
I mean, he was so good.
I saw him. This was so
How
good.
did they know? Like, I mean, how did Mel Brooks know that he was so good? Like, where did he?
How did I
They
know
were
you-
all
how did I
friends
know
or
you-
something.
Were they
How did I
friendly?
know you'd be good on it?
They all met at Katz's Deli. And they,
Well, no, I saw Harvey Korman at the fucking Palm in L.A. with Harvey Korman and Tim Conway having dinner with their wives. And I was with my agent at the time, around the dirty work time. They gave me a decent halfway fucking non-gutter schnuck fucking agent for a minute. This young chick, Rachel. She didn't think it was a big deal. I wanted to strangle her.
that's
She goes,
the
why? What's the big deal? I go, it's Tim Conway and Harvey Korman and their wives having a steak next to us. Like, she didn't care at all. And I got so mad at her. I went up to Harvey Korman by his car, get in the car, and I said, Mr. Korman, I'm a big fan. He went like this and with the toothpick goes, no shit. No shit.
That's awesome.
Yeah, nothing else. He is unbelievably funny.
yeah, every time he just like. He's like a big eye guy. Like,
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
just see like his fucking face.
You're about to embark on a great mission. You'll be helping to stamp out runaway decency in the West. Now,
And
you
even
will only
that-
be risking a life.
Even that language, like, well, I will most certainly be nominated for
I
best
was
supporting
just
actor.
literally just about to do it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, when he
Literally just about to do that.
when he goes in the theater and he's like he tries to when he goes student please and he's like oh
Headley.
damn.
I mean, the timing of Dave is insane.
Yeah, he is classic.
The
timing.
line I was about to do,
so
you
sorry.
crowbarred it.
I had no idea that was the beginning of
I
the
mean,
line.
holy living Christ.
I'm very embarrassed. I'm
And,
sorry. You don't do that to the host. I'm sorry. I really am. I didn't mean to
You
do
don't come to Hoboken and talk to a man like that.
Like Mo Green like that.
What's the name of the guy, Larry Winslow, who hosted the White House dinner, the black guy?
Michael Winslow.
What's
That's the guy from the one after the Daily Show, right? Yeah.
He's doing gunshot wounds. Hey, there's a lot of gunshot. Here's San Bernardino, Mr. President. Here's Islamic terrorism.
Larry
Michael
Wilmore.
Winslow.
Larry Wilmore.
Larry Wilmore.
Here's me getting out of my car.
Is there a guy making less of an impact on television than
Oh, Larry.
like what?
Oh God, right.
Hey, it's the highest rated show in Brooklyn. like the street shut down. It's coming on.
Hey Hillary, here's Benghazi.
Can I just say one thing about Michael Winslow?
Apparently you can say a lot of
I'm
things.
sorry. No, Michael Winslow was on the Smigel, the new Smigel show that just got canceled, the Jack
Robert
and Triumph
Smigel?
show.
Yes.
The Jack and Triumph one.
Right.
Yeah.
So in the first episode,
The new Jack and Triumph when they got canceled.
yeah, well, it was good, and he used Michael Winslow in an episode, and I was like, oh my god, this guy's still doing the same bit. But then the way he wrote it, it turned out that Michael Winslow saved the day with his invitations.
Oh yeah,
they were in
he
like
did.
big trouble, like and they got him out of trouble with like some underground mafia or something doing some. I hear gunshots outside.
I would hope.
Thanks, Michael Winslow.
I hope Michael would have something ironic coming up that
Exactly.
pike.
No, it was good. It was good.
But Robert Smigel on the Conan shows, when he would do that, he would do like the funniest shit in the first segment of a Conan episode, and he would look like a coal miner. He's doing so much work to make great comedy, and you realize he made $300.
Yeah, is that right?
Yeah, just like,
Wow, I didn't know that.
yeah, I mean, whatever. As a guest for Conan, that's what you made.
On the Adult Swim Network, that's what's his name, Smigel show was, and I watched pretty much, I think, almost every one of them. I thought like we were talking about how like it was like you have to know old sitcoms to get it, and there's always millennials like they're like probably like wondering what's going on.
I know. I'm like, how do they get the references?
But like the fact that they canceled it like on Adult Swim, because like you always like, oh, they canceled my show. What better show do they have? And they just bring out a weirder, more unwatchable show. It's
Makes
like
no sense.
I love that.
An
show.
Egg McMuffin's going to talk to an orange now for half an hour.
You know why? I'm so glad you brought that up, because those fucking executives, they're afraid of seeming unhip. Like those guys, like they see at Largo, they go, listen, you don't get why an Egg McMuffin would talk to an orange?
Like
what are you, an idiot?
And I always go, I don't get why. Why?
Yeah, no, and those executives like Evan Shapiro,
That's
case in point,
the second-
they go, we'll put it on because we don't want to look unhip.
And the second episode of the Jack and Triumph was amazing. It had Paul Rudd in it, and Triumph opened a coffee shop. And
Oh, yes, that was great.
He
The
had the
hipsters.
beard and the hipster coffee shop, right? And he goes,
That's hilarious.
And Paul Rudd is waiting for a cup of coffee. You can wait like you should have done with Dinner for Schmucks. The whole episode's amazing. It's a really good one. They're trying to pass coffee beans through a child actor because it's the bitterest coffee that there is. Or the lines were amazing. Paul Rudd was really good. He got it. I don't know how that show got canceled.
And him making fun of the hipsters was really
It was
good.
great.
It was
And that's
really
why, how is that not cool?
Yeah, well, because again, the executives are afraid. Are we pissing off the right hipster?
Russ, are you still here? What do you
Still
think?
here. I'm here. I'm listening.
Russ is
Taking
under
it
the
in.
weather.
Russ is under the weather.
A little under the weather today. I'll be all right.
Too much pussy.
No.
I'm going to tell you.
I guess there is such a thing. Well, we could wrap this up. It's been like, Dan, how you've been mailing in for about 2 hours.
Play more of the Rodney thing.
Do you have
Here's
anything else
what I'd
to make
like-
Jessica look like he's not lying?
When we wrap it up, what I'd like to do is just have a little drum roll and the air conditioner play, and
I have some sound effects I want to add during my diarrhea bit. So we'll be up till about 6 a.m. if you punching up the.
Artie, how's your sleep been lately? You good?
Oh, that was a big one. Talk about a segue.
I'm sorry.
Got the counselors coming in. All right, these are our friends Chip and Dan from the Institute. No, well, I don't know.
No, because you're watching all this TV,
Not
so
great.
I assume that you're up watching TV.
Well, you did say something that we're doing nothing wall-to-wall podcast.
Yeah.
We have bagged 4,000 hours and we realize nobody cares. But no, it's terrible. It's terrible because I fall asleep during the day. My mother was just in the hospital for like 7 straight days, so it got screwed up there. My poor sister stays there like no matter what, and she got good news, by the way. I guess.
Oh, that's great.
She did. They found. It was cancer, but it was the most non-aggressive. The doctor couldn't have given us better news with it being
God bless.
cancer.
That's great.
She's 74, so they said, listen, if she does nothing, it won't bother her until she's like 98. When quite frankly, she'll have been at my funeral for 5 years. But no, so it was great news, and I didn't realize how much that was a part of her anxiety. When it should be, but I thought it wasn't for some reason. She's like way happier now. So lately, I mean, what about when do you sleep? You
Never.
You never sleep.
I don't. Whatever, 2-3 hours a day. Something.
I remember in Afghanistan, we were all in the bunks. And I remember at 4 a.m. I go, Dave, are you up?
Yeah.
Want to have a cigarette?
This is a great mystery to me too. When do you sleep? What hours? Are you
doing me?
I know exactly when he sleeps. He sleeps between 5 and 8 in the PM.
Have you seen his sets at the cellar lately?
Because that's when I.
So
I
you're
do
up-
most of it on stage. fellas.
No, I know. I don't know. When does any of us sleep? Like, right, you get it. You
No,
sleep
I never.
normally, Russ?
I don't
I'd
sleep
say,
8
like-
hours. I know that.
Like,
Yeah.
I never sleep straight through. Those days are over.
Well,
So,
the last time I got 8 hours sleep was,
Yeah.
yeah.
But Russ has to get up and do about 100 crunches. It's like, excuse me, hold on a second.
Russ has to get up and not eat.
I finally went to his apartment, by the way, and you're right. You guys are so right about that. Such an adult
perfect.
apartment.
It's perfect.
Although it still does remind me of Dudley Moore's apartment at Foul Play, like a little bit.
What? Oh, my God! Talk about a reference.
Sorry, but
no,
very adult-like.
Well, no, it's like really something where you go, this guy's got it together.
Yeah. No, it's amazing what he's done with it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
My fucking brains.
What he's done with it.
The lighting, the TV.
What, were you there before he lived there? What do you mean? What he's done with it?
Insane. Because mine's just.
I was there when Stevie Ray Fromstein lived there. That came from. Well, what about? I mean, my apartment looks all right when Dan gets through with it. It's like,
you know what it looks like? It looks like one of those like phone center boiler rooms. Hey, have you ever thought of investing?
The most perfect reference.
You know, no money down condo scheme.
Where did that reference go?
We're selling timeshares in Phoenix, Arizona. It's a desert climate, a very dry climate. My name's not important.
Are you interested in coins?
Yeah.
So wait,
gold-plated coins.
We have doubloons that have been found off of. Don't let my heavy Jersey accent fool you. I am an oceanographer. I am Jacques Cousteau's friend.
So, good question. When did I first get interested in marine biology?
Hey,
Hello, your name.
So
I went to the Seahorse racetrack.
Dave, have you given up on the child thing? Because I'm ready for.
Oh, here we go.
I got you cornered now.
What, you need another grand?
Yeah, really. Wow. Kick a man when he's down.
No,
I think we're going to adopt a dog though in the next year or so, depending on who's president.
You can't.
This is file this under things you don't say to a chick if you don't want her to leave in a huff. If they ask you, can we get a dog? Don't say, I get grossed out when you shit in my apartment. That's James Mason.
I get grossed out when you shit
Well,
my apartment.
for the 15th time, I'll try to end this unless Dave has another impression.
No.
I'm talking about Just Cow.
There's too many Daves in here.
It was worth stretching it for the reference.
No, I want Artie
the
to
reference
end
he
the
just made.
show, and then I want the air conditioner to play, as we always do when it's in and up.
I could see Twitter now. Tell Just Go, it's not the shit impression show. I'll put that in an email that Dan will fire off. All right, well, guys, thank you.
Thank you for having us.
I mean, honestly, this is so much fun for me. I look forward to it. And I'm not kidding. The fans love this shit. So anytime, I'd love to do this once a month. And I have a solid offer on the table that you'll be hearing through your agent. So thanks. Anybody want to plug anything?
I do.
Go ahead.
Anybody?
Go. Do it.
June, of course, is a big month for me on the road. I'll be at the Comedy Connection, Providence,
Rhode
Rhode
One
Island.
of Hotels June.
610 Comedy Connection, and then I'm backing it up with a Wilbur Theater gig, 611.
That's me and Russ play that a lot.
That's a great
the
gig.
best thing ever.
Both are great. The Providence, you should play that club. They love you, dude.
In Providence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've done that before.
Are
What's
you
Chicopee?
Right? Are you into whatchamacallit, Italian food and racketeering? It's a great town.
The Hukilau?
That's
in Chicopee, Massachusetts.
Chicopee, Mass. I
That's
played
right.
that many times.
How's the Italian food there?
I frisked him. He's clean.
That's 1,000.
I checked this comic. He's clean.
That guy is a great acting, eating person. Like, I'm eating a thing.
What's that guy's name? He's a classic actor. Sterling Hayden.
Yeah.
Here's a great trivia about that guy. He was supposed to be Robert Shaw in Jaws. The first offer was out to him.
Oh, no way.
Really?
Couldn't do it because he owed the IRS so much money. It didn't make sense to make more money.
Oh, wow.
Like if he made more money, it would have fucked him in taxes. So that's why he turned down the Robert Shaw's part.
Wow.
That guy is a good shit though. I heard your guinea hoodlums locked up.
How's the feel? It's like it's best in the city. I'll have it.
How much is the Turk paying you to set up my father?
Why, you little stand him up?
Yeah, stand him up. Hold him.
Hold him tight.
That's the part I'm playing in the next one.
You know my father. Men are coming here to kill him.
Hey, so Dave, what are you doing another installment?
August 2nd.
Oh yeah.
Of what? What are you doing now?
The Godfather. I'm doing the next scenes.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
I forgot that wasn't the end of the movie.
No, it wasn't. But thank you very much for doing it, Artie. You were amazing.
Well, we all had a blast. But what about putting a tell in there?
No,
now
no.
Now Just Gal's gonna.
I hate acting, and theater is like acting 5 times.
Obviously, I would love it, but he's not.
No,
He's
no.
he's for the epic. Let him
I'll
play.
send Mitch Fertel in for me.
I want him.
honestly.
We'll do the epic, and he'll play the chick that Jack Waltz has locked up upstairs.
I will only play one part for you. If you could write a Ben Gazzara type strong lead in there.
I own this town. Me, Al Capone. Why don't you let's do Buffalo 66 next time.
I think what you should do is, Dave, for the next movie, you should make it a competition where you put up 2 choices on the web.
That's a good idea. Yeah, which one we
The
want
Godfather
to
and Donnie Darko.
Yeah, I think it should be. I think it should either be Playing for Time or Zapped. I think
Zapped. Roller Boogie.
That's funny. I like the Playing for Time reference.
Roller Boogie. Roller
or
Boogie.
Heaven's Gate.
Roller Boogie the Deer Hunter.
Yeah. That would be great.
I don't think anyone under 50 can listen to this podcast.
Yeah. Well, listen, someone under 50 can barely do it.
That's my entire career.
Well, listen, I'm glad Russ going to let us go out on a down.
Artie, I know you got a third podcast coming in here. Some guy driving a bread truck. Some guy driving a bread truck and a fisherman.
I've got my Shylock coming in at 4.
The guy that pumps my gas coming in.
I've got the OTB staff from 7th Avenue.
Bakers only. You've been for the 3 a.m. guys.
I got all the guys from Betty Tadina's Pizza.
So you make those Entenmann's cookies. What's that like?
And now after the comedians, Artie talks to the doo-wop group from Staten Island, Benny Bouton and the Boston Chubs.
A very religious cleaning lady who took 9 buses to get here.
Artie Lange is a very controversial Jeb Bush. Artie talks to Lamar Odom.
Now, Miguel, you sell cigars on the side of the highway. How do you feel?
Artie talks to Michael Richards, who opens up about the Laugh Factory.
I said nigger because I thought it was the.
I think, how great would it be? How much better of a show would Seinfeld have been if, with the entrance he made, he also said that with every
time,
every entrance. Yeah. I hope Kramer doesn't find out. That would, I mean, God, would that punch him?
That would be his Lenny and Squiggy.
Exactly.
Hello.
Whatever you do, don't tell Kramer. Got the cops coming. The garbage men are mad. It was coming from that balcony, officer. All right, guys, thank you. Of course, the great Russ Benny. Russ, you want to plug anything?
Come on, Russ.
Who cleaned your apartment?
Cellar.
The cellar.
Yeah,
always at the cellar,
Yeah.
which is becoming such a great hang with the new wall.
Oh my God!
What is with that? When are they going to get food?
It's taking a long time, longer than they thought.
Watching Judah eat hummus was my favorite. Judah eating hummus with that world champion shirt. Yeah, what's up with does anyone know the inside skinny on that? What's going on?
They're putting in like a 5-star restaurant kitchen, and it's going to be.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they're hiring chefs. They're looking for chefs.
I thought it was perfect.
They're going to spend some of the $30 million they made last month.
They're gonna put in some big chefs. They think that'll bring in some of the bigger acts.
You see, things are starting to loosen up.
If we sold a nice porterhouse steak in here, then we could get it.
It was Sherrod who killed Patrice. But he's coming back. Dave, you want to plug anything?
I'll be at the Monmouth Racetrack June 4th.
Is that true?
Yes.
What movie are you doing there?
Oh, I'm not doing any movie. That's my first day at the track this year, this season.
Secretariat. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
Oh, that's
June
great.
4th.
That's actually something you mark.
I'm excited.
Well, guys, thank you. I really do.
Thanks for having us, buddy.